we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab and then take it. Like a disease, bring them to their knees. No pain for there to see. Breathe just like a wind, spread into the streets. It's time to make them bleed. 'Cause we just want retribution. Let's go light up the darkness. Make true of an empty promise. Flip cards in the weak and harmless. Take to the streets and turn them to a mosh pit. 'Cause we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make great.
All right, guys, let's get this party started. If you want a reading, be sure and visit my stand store. It is linked in the description below. And as always, we have a fair use, a disclaimer. As you come in, please hit the thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, and share the video if you like it. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. Hello. Welcome in to Astrology for Mystics with Jen. This is astrology time, but it's also going to be a time where I have a lot to discuss. And if you are willing to ride the wave with me, great. If you are, going to be in and out, great too. And if you're watching this well after the live, thank you for being here. Our time spent, I would like to spend my time being productive. I don't know about y'all, but I like to spend my time being productive, whether it is, you know, looking for missing kids, talking about missing kids. The missing is just so important to me. Family is important. The missing is important. There's a lot of things that I find productive that some people may not find productive. There is a lot of cases, not just on YouTube, but on TikTok as well, where it's just nothing but drama. It is not productive for me at all. For some people, they absolutely love the drama. And that's why they are in the chat, because they are expecting, they are wanting the drama. I don't understand how people are happy with that type of lifestyle, but nevertheless, on this channel, we try to be productive. And that's what I'm going to be doing today, is being productive. And I want your guys, I want all of your inputs as I am discussing the different cases. We're going to be talking about Jack and Lily Sullivan, Sebastian Rogers, Layla Santanello, Summer Wells. We're also going to be talking about canines, and I see Jules is in the chat, so maybe she would want to chime in. I know that she is a busy girl today. Hello, Jasper. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Jeff, for your support. Cree Designs. Hello, sweetheart. Thank you for being here. Orb Attraction. Hello, sweet sister. Thank you guys so much for being here. There's Jill. Hi, Jill. Good to see you, honey. Hey, Kim. Kimberly, good to see you. Yes, we have a fair use, a disclaimer. And I am going to be discussing some things, and I want to get your input on some of it. Very much so nuts, absolutely bonkers. And to, emphasize that, I want to show you guys something that happened to me last night. Last night, I just really tried to spend some alone time with Jeff, because, Jeff is just always on the sideline. So I tried to spend some time with him last night. And in doing so, before I went to sleep, I sat in my office and I just kept thinking about little Summer and all of these cases and everything that was going on. And I saw somebody live that I've never really gone into their chat, because I had heard through the grapevine that there is, it's just a bunch of just crazy stuff, always drama. A lot of drama has surrounded Summerwell's case. If there is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, it is with that case. And I would like to think that Sebastian's isn't as bad. I don't know what this shadow is, but it's driving me crazy. What is that? Let me see if this is. Is it my phone? Nope. I don't know what that shadow is, but it's driving me crazy. But anyway, sorry. But these cases have just been cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So what I want to do is I want to start showing you guys some of the things that I'm noticing, and then I want to show you the astrology, because the astrology is basically backing it all up. And wait till y'all guys see, wait till you see some of the stuff. Just wait till you see it, man. Okay, that's cool. That's cool, Jules. I know you're busy. So the first one that I want to show you is, I went to this chat last night. Actually, not only did I go into the chat, I went on his panel, and I want you to see what took place. The title is now called Derailed, but the title was Summer Wells and the timeline of Summer Wells. When I went into the live, this is Ernie Shell's live from last night. When I went into the live, I was pretty surprised because there was no timeline being discussed. And I wanted to bring it back to whatever his timeline was, because I was interested in his timeline, because I'd been looking at her map, been looking at different people, been looking at the future, future transits and things like that, getting into my, my nuts stuff with the astrology. So I want you guys to listen to this. I want you to hear what was said on this live last night on the panel. Check it out.
It's not for YouTube at all. Because
Right.
if you start giving everything out and doing this and that, but we can say we've got this timeline now, this piece of the puzzle that's here. M9 said she would come back. She's going outside. Let her go outside. Let her go outside.
I'm sorry.
Hold on, we got somebody else back here. Hold on one second.
Well,
I don't
don't
know who
mute me this time too long because you kept it on mute last time.
Oh,
Okay,
we
so
muted you. That's not
okay,
fair.
so hold on one second. We got somebody back here.
Ernie's
I don't know.
never
I don't know
muted
who she
me.
is. This is Jennifer, guys. Hello, Jen.
Hey, how are you?
How are you, Jen?
I'm doing good. I am interested in your timeline.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Now,
Yeah.
who are you to the Summer Wells case? Because I don't know much of the characters or nothing, but tell me a little bit about yourself.
I don't really either know a whole lot about the characters. I know some characters in the Summer Wells case. I followed it since. I don't know if you guys heard that girl, but she goes, hmm, hmm. That was the TM girl when I said that. And just so you guys know, um, it's not that I'm not familiar, but what difference does it make? What difference does it make? Who am I to the Summer Wells case? Why does it matter if I know any of the characters? Been on Summer Wells case for long enough to have done her map, and we're going to be talking about that today. I'll even show you Ernie Shell's the lines that go over his home. But yeah, her little I heard it. Y'all want to hear it again? I'm sure you do, because you know what? People like the drama. Well, here it is. Here it is.
How are you, Jen?
I'm doing good. I am interested in your timeline.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Now,
Yeah.
who are you to the Summer Wells case? Because I don't know much of the characters or nothing, but tell me a little bit about yourself.
I don't really either know a whole lot about the characters. I know some characters in the Summer Wells case. I followed it since I believe it was 2022, 2023.
Mhm.
Map the missing, and I just investigate another way. And I'm interested in your timeline. I'm also interested in your theories. I'm interested in
Okay.
anybody and everyone that knows anything about the case as far as what I could put on the map. And
Right.
you would be surprised at all the stuff that I've got on Summer's map. But my main goal is to always find the missing, not so much the narrative, because if we really think about it, who all talked about the Hills, Paul Hill, and them being a suspect?
Right. Well, I mean, that was just something that come in, and everybody's like, "Whoa!" See, in the Summer Wells case, there was a new character every week.
That's not what I asked. That's not what I asked. Of all the, of all the YouTubers that had covered the case for year after year after year after year, how many of them talked about the Hill property? Paul Hill, Randy Hill. How many of them had their little suspect list? How many of them had Paul Hill? That was a very simple question. I don't care how many new characters came on the case. Not one time when I was following the Summer Wells case did I hear anything about Paul Hill. What about y'all? But see, that's the thing. That's the thing that we're going to be talking about today, because I'm talking about not just rude, but potty mouth, potty mouth, and wants to act like, there's a lot of people in these cases, like Summer Wells' case, that thinks that they know everything. They've done solved it without the body. But not one person, not one YouTuber mentioned Paul Hill. And that was the point that I was making. I don't care how long anybody been on this case. You didn't mention Paul Hill, did you? But this girl TM gets really smart. She gets really smart. Watch this. I mean, rude as hell. Watch this. Hold on. Let me get back to it.
It was like it was like watching a soap opera. It was like watching a soap opera on TV.
Now we got to go help people customize and save hundreds with
It's
Liberty
still
Mutual.
like that.
Maybe where's the golf cart?
It's still like a soap opera. It's ridiculous. Action, really. I mean, there's a lot of distraction in all cases, especially when we, the people, get invested and we have our own opinions, we have our own perspectives, we have our own theories. Like, I totally get it. I'm not, y'all, people in this chat were so rude too. They were like, who is this chick? Get this chick off of here. Is she drunk? I mean, just running me in the ground. Afterwards, me and Jeff just sat here and watched and just read everything that everybody was saying. And it was insane that these are adults and not asking the host to pull it back to summer, just being total juveniles, like little kids in kindergarten wouldn't even act this bad. Like, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Not bashing anybody. I'm just, more interested in facts. Like for the Hatfields and McCoys, like, what was it like stopping there and walking up to the property? Like, did they have, what was their thoughts? What were their feelings? Like, what was going on? Like, were the dogs meeting them, at the road? Like, what were the dogs like? And
Well,
did they meet them when they got closer to the property? Like, yeah, I was interested, I was interested in finding out what, from, the Hatfields and McCoy, like, did the dogs meet them there? Because if she had been kidnapped, then I would like to know if the dogs were reactive when they first pulled into the drive, as they were walking up the hill, as they got close to the house. When did the dogs actually meet them on the property? I felt like that is, that's a valid question, because I've never been there and just walked up on the Wells property without calling them, or, I've never done that. So they did. Fred and Sheila walked up there, literally parked, got into their driveway and parked and walked up. They didn't drive it. So I think it's a valid question. When did the dogs approach? Thought it was a valid question. But again, people would rather hear about drama. They don't want to hear about facts. They don't want to hear any of that, So many questions I'd like to even ask them,
Oh yeah. Well, I talked to Fred earlier on Facebook Messenger, and we pretty much agreed that we didn't want no drama with each other. We do have different opinions, but one thing he said, and you have to. Am I who is backfeeding here? I believe it's fixed.
It could be me. Let me make sure it's not me.
So one thing he said was the cadaver dogs. They were never the cadaver dogs were never there the first day. That destroyed everything. They were scent dogs. They were scent dogs. The sock that was used was never verified to be Summers. It was just a sock that was taken out. That's it.
Well, and in my opinion, we can't just always go off of what a canine says. I mean, it's great to be, but he's right. Like, a canine is only as good as their handler. And, there's always error. And we just, it just depends on what article of clothing they had. Like he said, was it taken from the hamper? If so, I mean, that's convoluted there,
100%.
Right, 100%. And so that's what Fred and Sheila were saying. They were saying on their last live that the scent dogs, they tracked Summer to the road and then lost the scent. Well, if they don't have it depends on the article of clothing that they had. If it came from the hamper of the dirty clothes with Dawn and Candace and the brothers and everything, then wow. I mean, what was it? 3 or 4 years ago, one of the content creators who's not even from here in the United States wants to talk about all these cases, but never does boots on the ground, has to be an expert on everything. And on this channel, they specifically said that the canines are never wrong, and that's bullshit. Canines can be wrong, especially if they are given wrong scent to follow. I mean, 1 plus 1 is not 4. Common sense is just not common in these cases. And it is very frustrating. Very frustrating. We got 2 people, new eyes on Summerwell's case, willing to go to the property, willing to be boots on the ground, and people are running them into the ground, talking all kinds of mad crap about Fred and Sheila. I don't know them from nothing. Me and Jeff watched them find that dude. I mapped him. It was cool and crazy at the same time. Remember, Jeff? Like, it was wild to watch. They found the guy. They're not scared. They're not scared of YouTubers. They're not scared of they weren't scared of all those dogs on the property. I would have been like, but they weren't. They're very courageous. And they're boots on the ground. And then we got these creators coming out afterwards, after they interviewed Dawn and Candace, and got all kinds of things to say, like they are some expert. If they're such an expert, where is Summer? If they're such an expert, why wasn't Paul Hill the first on the list, or even one person to be on a list of suspects? YouTubers that just talk. That's all they do, is just talk and talk and talk. They do nothing productive but talk. They don't go boots on the ground. Some creators can't. Maybe they've got health problems. Maybe they have money problems. Maybe they have, different issues. But some of these people that are boots on the ground, that have been boots on the ground, there has not been one person that has found Summer. And it takes us all. And it's a crying shame that there are so many juvenile adults. It's heartbreaking, really, that this title, before he did Derailed, well, all he did was derail. That's all he did. That's all they did was derail for drama. He stayed consistent with 300 to 400 people in his chat the whole entire time.
Now, let me ask you a question. What is your theory on these private investigators that pretty much gatekeep Candace and Dawn? And they're supposed to be doing a public service.
Oh, sorry.
But as a former private investigator, I never had a case or a client that I gatekeeped.
Yeah.
I never did say, you can talk to this law enforcement, you can talk to this or this person here, but we all know that they do that. So
Yeah.
why do they do that for?
I don't know.
I mean, don't that make sense? I mean, look, when you get involved with something, if you're a bear and you're going through the woods and you find some honey, you don't just take a swap of that honey. You take the whole damn thing, right? And you're big enough, you're a bear, it's all yours, right? So that's what Trudy does with Candace. It's like she's all hers. And one thing it got me, the phone call that was made. Candace walked in the house. We don't know what Candace said when she first called her. We don't have no idea. No idea whatsoever what she even said.
I mean, Candace was the last one to be with her. And is it a coincidence that her sister is missing too, never to be found? Is that just a coincidence? I mean, I've got a lot of questions about the whole I don't, I harp on Sherfy Jr. Like he has been one of my main, like, suspects.
Still using Google for searching someone?
Him because of his just, he's just nasty.
Right. And I understand that. But everybody in this case has got some sort of twisted, demented, like just some kind of creepy era about them.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody on that hill, to me, it's like to say that everybody around the area and on the hill are pedophiles or got something to do with that.
Yeah, they're all just jack nasty, in my opinion, but
right.
It is, and so where is Summer? And it's like, okay, so I think that it's great that there's boots on the ground. I like to see boots on the ground. I like to see people looking for the missing instead of just talking shit online, to actually see some actual, productivity instead of, we can all just create drama and, live in, somebody said I was living in I don't know what they said, but, it was some kind of derogatory, but that's something, that I see a lot of too, is just so many juveniles that are not adding any type of, productivity to a case. They're just taken away. But it's just a bunch of distractions. And then you got people even out of country. I mean, they never even come and do boots on the ground, put out flyers, nothing, just run their mouth. And it's just, it's pretty sad. But
So,
I mean, again, though, Ernie, like, how many people talked about the Hill residents?
Mm-hmm.
How many people?
I mean,
all these YouTubers. How many?
Yeah.
How many people? Said that they were one of their main suspects.
Well,
the FBI had
with Fred and all that, things have come out that says, hey, it's some of his family. It's a 3500 block of Van Hill Road, all that. So we don't know exactly, and here's what I'm hoping and praying. We don't exactly know exactly what they did. We don't, because nothing, it was put out there that they was there, they visited, they did some kind of search or something, but we don't know exactly what happened, okay? We don't.
Right.
Now,
know. I mean, I would say that if the FBI was there, they probably took some forensic type of evidence. They probably sent it off to Quantico. I mean, I doubt that they just went there and, looked around and left. I'm assuming that they took something with them, but I don't know. I wasn't there.
Let me ask you a question, and we're going to move on a little bit, but let me ask you a question. What is your opinion?
Oh, here's where the TM girl gets really pissy. And I took my photo off because none of them have their photo on. I mean, they're not, showing their face or nothing. And I took mine off so I could smoke a cigarette. I mean, because I was getting really just irritated as hell that there was no questions that I was asking were actually being answered. So I was getting a little irritated.
On the timeline that I'm putting together, that our team Unlock Your Reality and Operation Rescue Our Children are putting together right now.
What's the timeline?
About what we said about the swimming hole and about how we think that, she never, it all started from the swimming hole. And I believe that I don't believe Hunter made it to her. I don't believe Hunter made it to her. I believe it was an accident. I do now. And I never have said this before until now. I do believe it was some sort of an accident. But I believe after the accident, Candace, Grandis, and Dawn covered it up. I do believe that. I don't believe she ever left the truck. There's things that they wanted to involve. And here's something else too. They wanted to involve the boys so bad. They wanted to involve the boys to put them into play. Criminals, when they do something, they have to revolve around other people. They have to bring other people into it to get it off them, right?
Right.
So if I'm sitting here and the light is shining all on me, and I don't want to be in the spotlight, I've got to go into the shade. But guess what? I've got to pull somebody in to take my place. And that's what they did.
So you think that boys will eventually just tell that was all a lie?
I believe that eventually something may come out with that.
I don't think
But
they
I-
know the difference. They were
I
just
don't
told
think-
they were last to see her. Like
Yes,
they
yes.
probably don't know the
Oh, well,
difference.
they were
at
definitely
all.
old enough to know if they saw their sister or not.
Okay, but in a traumatic event and your mom
Okay, but in a traumatic event, I can't even stand the way she's talking. Okay, I'm a Southern girl. I don't even like the way she's talking. Call me juvenile. Call me juvenile. I'm stooping. I'm telling you how I feel. I can't even stand to listen to this girl talk because she doesn't think, because we have a difference of opinion. She is going to get pissed off. She's going to get pissed off. So, Shauna, what you're watching is last night, I went up on a panel about Summer Wells. They weren't even talking about Summer Wells. I tried to bring it back to Summer Wells, and this is where we get. We're finally here. He asked me, what do I think about his timeline? And then, she starts saying that the boys wouldn't even know if they saw her because they were so traumatic. They wouldn't know if they saw Summer or not. They wouldn't know. And then I said what I said. Here, let me take it back for a second. Or not.
Okay, but in a traumatic event and your mom's coming in telling you where'd Summer go, those boys aren't going to remember if they saw her or not. If they said, no, we didn't see her, they're certainly not going to say, they're probably going to question it for the rest of their lives. If it didn't even happen and she never walked by them, it's kind of actually really abusive to do to kids because no, they actually wouldn't be like, oh, we were last to see Summer. That's what they're going to
Yeah, I
think
think
for the
those
rest
kids
of
are
their
smart
life.
enough. I think that they're smart enough to know what is true and what's not. I think that if
So
they're
you think that on
if
their
that theory
regular
is
day
right,
when their games
I mean,
were
it's
in
just
their
my opinion.
faces?
Yeah,
Like
well,
you
that's
said, you're new and you don't even know the players, so I
Oh,
don't
I
even
didn't,
know.
honey. I didn't say I was new. No,
Yeah, you did when you
that's
came
not
up.
true.
You
No, I
said you
didn't. No, I didn't. I did not say that I was new, that I didn't know the players. I said that I don't know some of them, and I couldn't remember when I came onto the scene. I couldn't remember when I came onto the scene because when Summer went missing, I was looking for Jessica Stacks. I was looking for Jessica. I was deep into Jessica's case, and I still am. I don't just leave one that I've mapped. I've mapped over 400 people. If they're still missing, I still go back to it. I was talking about Layla's map this morning. We were rehashing, going back over the same text that we got the very beginning of Layla going missing. I was on Jessica Stacks. Jessica went missing January 1st, 2021. So when Summer went missing, I didn't just jump from this case to the other. I started to map Summer after she went missing, right after she went missing. But there was so much drama. There has been so much drama on Summer's case and a bunch of toothless wonders acting like they know something about her case that don't know shit. So it's a lot of distraction. If I were to talk to the police officers or, somebody that's got some sense about them with Summer's case, that's one thing, but most people don't. They have no common sense because it ain't common. And I'm just calling it like I see it. If if that theory is true that they're talking about, the boys weren't dumb. They're not dumb. They're gonna know if they saw their sister or not. They're gonna know. They're gonna remember. And she got so pissed off because I said that. It's crazy. It's crazy how mad she got.
didn't even know all the players. So why
I said I
are we
don't know
even
all the
talking about the
players.
boys?
I
Okay,
didn't
so
say I was new.
Why even
let's
talk about the boys?
I mean, 3 or 4 years, and I've mapped the shit out of Summer.
I really
so,
don't care
I mean,
about your maps, okay?
You know what? You're rude as hell.
I don't really
okay, so
care.
let's have a conversation, guys. Let's get off this fact. Let's get
Yeah,
back to the
let's not
timeline.
talk about the boys. How about
And
we
I understand that
protect them?
part.
Don't talk about the boys. Don't talk about the boys. This girl,
Uh,
'Cause I'm
Okay,
sick
so
and
she gets
tired
all
of people
mad.
bringing up the boys. They're online, Ernie.
I understand that. There's a
Look.
lot of rings involved. She'll tell, when
Hold
you get
on.
into this, these
Watch
gateways,
this.
Really said that word.
you said something about it, and she
Then this girl M9 gets up there, and she's
Ernie,
playing
M9
all
is
kinds of
back.
games. Playing all kinds of games. This is what has surrounded the Summer Wells case. 300 plus in that chat. And I jumped up on panel because for one, I want to let people know that there's a lot of other people like me that take her case seriously and want facts. Like the Hatfields or Fred and Sheila. Mature people that aren't, mathed up. There are actually people that truly care and that want facts, not your stupid drama. They were even accusing me, some of them in the chat were even accusing me of having something to do with him. What? It was the weirdest thing. And those of you that don't know who Ernie Shell is, let me just show you. You can Google who is Ernie Shell in Summer Wells' case. You can Google it, like I did. Ernie Shell is a self-proclaimed bounty hunter and controversial social media content creator who frequently podcasted about disappearance of Summer. He is not an official law enforcement or an official representative connected to the official search. He is operated as a YouTuber and self-styled private investigator bounty hunter. Created numerous videos, commentary sessions discussing theories, clues, commentaries surrounding the high-profile missing child case out of Hawkins County. Attracted online speculations, criticism, true crime communities regarding the validity of his claims and involvement in online discussions. Arrested in Massachusetts following an armed barricade incident during the live stream, charged as a fugitive from justice alongside assault and battery counts involving police officers. I mean, look, I'm not clueless. And I got a whole map of all these people on Summer's map. And the lines tell a story. They're not just vague lines, just silly lines, as some of the, ignorance would call it. They actually tell a story. And they're going to tell the great story when she's found. If she's ever found. Same with Layla. Same with Sebastian. The maps that I create work, but we have to work them. I can't just talk about them. I have to be boots on the ground. Or someone has to be boots on the ground for me in the area. And with Sebastian Rogers' case, I don't know if you guys remember, but the only people that followed the map besides Seth and Tony was Stephen Crabtree. And we all know what Stephen Crabtree thought or thinks or did find on that dark moon line because he didn't stop talking about it. And yes, I sent him to that area to search. And I was sitting at my ex-husband's watching Liliana as I'm talking to him, and he's sending me photos of what he thinks he found. The dark moon that was constantly, he was reflecting and talking about. The maps do work. It freaked Stephen out how much they were working and the things that would happen as he was on that line, his line. Like one time, he was on a line with his Mars, and that is when he told the news station about the bridge, needing to be repaired. When his boat, something happened with his boat. There's the Mars. Anyways, it works. If it didn't, I wouldn't still keep doing it. I'm not, ignorant. I'm not just going to keep doing something that don't work. But I do need people to help me work the map. And so getting up on his panel, I thought would be a good idea. I did. I thought would be a good idea, especially because of the things that Fred and Sheila have been going through with this community, because man, have they gotten the raw end of the deal with so much negativity. And it's really just crazy. All the negativity that they've gotten. So this last video is in response to other creators that have said, that have, as soon as they put out a video, creators will create content with it and either bash them or give them a pat on the back. Right? I mean, that's what content creators do. They review. And so there's been a lot of reviewing. I've seen it. That's why one day I put out a post and I said, you know what I think about them? Because I was seeing so much negativity, even negativity in their chats. And it's just sad to see grown adults being so nasty to people that actually care enough to leave their home in Kentucky and drive all the way to, Rogersville to question two parents that could possibly know where Summer's at. And they went there so courageously. And not only is Summer missing, but so is her aunt. And it's like, the math don't math up. Like, why is it that we got two? What are the odds that two from the same family, go missing to never be found again? What are the odds of that? So, yeah. So, Fred and Sheila, they come on. Let's just listen to what they say first.
Hi guys, hope you're doing well today. It's Fred and Sheila with Hatfield McCoy Museum Adventures and Fred and Sheila Investigates.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us. Sheila and I, if we don't have content, you won't hear from us. If we don't have content, we won't make a video just for the sake of making a video. Some of our videos goes 2 or 3 days.
Oh yeah, and I will say that Jules does work the maps too. Thank you, Jules. Yeah. Don't mean to throw you under the bus, girl. Yes. We definitely work. We have been working some maps together. Cherry and Zachary. Yes. And I'm still, we were talking about it yesterday and how we need to revisit Cherry's map and look at some places that she could be found. Yes, fair use disclaimer. Thank you.
Straight. Some of them you don't see one for a week or two. And we do go from topic to topic. Sometimes we're on one thing and then another. Summer Wells, we've been on it pretty heavy here lately. Mm-hmm. But what I was getting to, we're not going to make content. We're not going to argue with other YouTubers and have drama just to have content. We're not going to do that. This is about.
And he is talking about other YouTube creators. And I would say one of them is Ernie. I would say the other one is possibly Michelle After Dark and any other content creators that think that they know everything about this case and that they know nothing.
Summer Wells, and it should be about Summer. Nothing but finding Summer and finding out what happened to her.
That should be the main goal of everyone.
Yeah, I agree with you. Everybody, that should be all of our goals, to help law enforcement, help prosecutor, help anybody that we can in an orderly way without interfering with their investigation. But after 5 years, I don't think we're going to interfere with anything. After 5 years, again, Sheila and I think God's going to solve this. But in the meantime, we find interesting things that come to us or we'll be talking about amongst us.
Yeah. discussing it.
And we think, well, maybe somebody else will have an input in that. Maybe somebody, without arguing, at least it keeps you from arguing with other YouTubers. At least you're coming up with your own content. Anybody can argue with each other. It's the fact that let's work together.
Yeah, I was gonna say arguing doesn't get you anywhere, really.
And working together means just working, trying to a common goal, finding summer. It doesn't mean we have to work side by side or communicate, or it's just not. Everybody do your own thing, do your own research, but do it for the betterment of summer.
Right. For the betterment of summer. And that's where there is a lot of problems because they are not doing it in the betterment of summer. That live last night had nothing to do with the benefit of summer. Nothing. It was a disgusting live. It was more than derailed. It was so disgusting. And what was made it even more disgusting is all of the people that gravitate to disgusting content. Disgusting. Because how many hundreds of people last night needed that in their head? Like, wasn't there something else that all of them could have been doing besides running somebody like myself into the ground? The girl TM, I mean, she lost her shit because I said something about the boys that wasn't the same as her. And then, people were like, nobody can talk about the boys except TM. Only she can talk about them. And I thought, y'all are so weird. Y'all are this is weird. This is weird to me. The other thing is that all cases are like this, especially involving children's cases. And I just wish to God that more people would grow up, that more people would grow up. They are. It's disgusting. It's weird. A little naive. You think that they're just naive? My only opinion of them was when they said they had Sebastian CPS reports and they would be releasing them. I had to intervene and tell them that the father could not. How could they? Exactly. Right. Drama. Drama, drama, drama. So, as far as where I want to take you guys now and get out of this, I just needed to call it out. I needed to call it out. It makes me feel better to say, hey, we have to do better as human beings. We've just got to do better. In regard to the K9 that with Summer's case, I do want to show you, let me get it to Summer's map. I do want to show you on Summer's map where I believe that the K9 hit. I think there was one that was in the bottom of the driveway. Let's go a little further because I want to show you guys. Let me see if I can make this one go. I hate it when that happens, but I can't. Oh, there we go. Let me show you. This is where I believe Summer Swing is. Let me make sure you guys can see that. Hold on. Here we go. This is where I believe Summer Swing is right here. And if you guys think that I've gotten it wrong, please be sure and let me know. Anything that you think I've gotten wrong on the map, be sure and let me know. But this is where I think Summer Swing is. This is where I think Grandis's camper was. And this is where I believe the basement door is. Okay. So as far as her camper, this is where we would have gotten medicine because Venus in Cancer is going this way. Venus is going this way. But the Neptune in Pisces is going this way. So the Neptune in Pisces is going right over her trailer. Neptune in Pisces, we can't see clearly. Can't see it clearly. We got to dissolve it. It's water. It's medicine. And this is where the FBI would meet with possessions that are transformative. Okay. And if we look right here at summer swing, we can see that the south node, where she's been before on that swing, is right there. And the north node is going in the opposite direction. It's going this way. And it's in Gemini. It's communications with two people. This way with two people. And we can see that Daniel Chambers, I've got an address for Daniel Chambers right here. Okay. This Neptune, though, I want to show you a little bit more about this Neptune. So the Neptune is going this way, and we got to dissolve it. The Venus is going this way. This is Ben Hill Road. Oh, it's wanting to take me there before I'm ready to get there. So this is Ben Hill Road. This is where the Venus is that is going over, this angle is going over grandma's trailer. So this angle is telling us a story. It's a geometric angle. Our universe is beautiful with geometry and the behavioral expression. The tool of astrology is a psychology of behavior. That's what we're looking at. We're just looking at behavior at the time she goes missing. So the Venus in Cancer, this is where there could be some type of evidence. And it could be about a home. It could be about a cemetery. It could be about maternal, mother, mom, grandmom, the home. And so this is where I'm going. I'm going with it right here. And you can see that Sharpie Jr., his Mars in Cancer, that is conjunct Vulcanus. There's a lot of emotion with a vehicle, with a body that's going this way. This is the reason why I'm always looking at Sharpie Jr. That could change. But if I keep going, okay, if I keep going on this line and I want to find another address, there is Rosie Dykes. She died in December of 2021. Her family now have that property, the Johnsons. Tell me I don't know anything about what I'm talking about, okay? Just, I mean, try again. So here's the FBI. There's the FBI Venus. It's conjunct Mercury in Cancer, going right over that property, okay? And I have to ask myself, why? Why is it going right over this property? The FBI is there. Values, evidence. This is definitely media worthy, especially when it has to do with Rosie. She died in December. Summer goes missing in June. So 6 months. So we keep going. Then we've got this, we've got this property right here that's got a pond. But if we keep on going right here, we can even go a little bit further in. We can see that there's a property here, 868 Light Hollow. I don't know who lives there or who lived at 854 Light Hollow. I could keep going. Okay, I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to see if I can find any other address. Well, there's Ken Musselman, associate of Don Sharpie Sr. Ken and his son, Cody, have Musselman Trucking. They have a trucking company now. So I'm going to keep going. There's Elk Jennings, Brandon McMillan. Let's just keep going because I want us to really look at this area right through here. So this missing Venus and Sharpie Jr. Billy Joe. There's that girl that was unalive. Let's see. Hammonds, Jimmy Long. There's Jimmy Long. Y'all know who Jimmy Long is if you know anything about the case. Jimmy is or was the boyfriend of what's her face? The Crawford girl, Marlena Crawford. So Jimmy Long, he is right there. Hammonds right there. We're just going to keep going. We're going to keep looking. Bowers, a pastor. So another pastor, his address, another address of one of the pastors after he moved to North Carolina. Well, one of the there was a viewer of the Hatfields. They called in. They told her, or they told them, this woman told Hatfield and McCoy that a woman spotted Summer in North Carolina. It wouldn't be here, okay? It wouldn't be here with this other address of that pastor, but I'm thinking it's right here. I asked them if it was in North Carolina. They said, yeah, and I think it's right here on this FBI line. Okay? So let me show you Ernie, one of the addresses that I have for Ernie. I think I've got two. And here's one of them. Grandma, Candace, Neptune, and Scorpio opposes Mercury in Taurus. So the grandmother, Grandis, she's got a line going right over his home. It's hidden. Her Neptune and Scorpio. Let me make sure that that's what it is. No. This is the Mercury in Taurus. This is where all of the information is about money. Mercury rules communications. Mercury rules the siblings. And Candace's Neptune is in an opposition. So the things that the grandmother hides is going over Ernie's house. And then Sherfy Jr. is letting go of a breakup. There's a breakup here. It's money, values, one of his old addresses. So I don't want people to think that I don't know anything about this case, that I've just come on the case, like I don't know shit, because evidence is going to prove otherwise. Okay. Here is one of Ernie's old addresses, and this is where Sherfy Jr. is. This is where his Venus in Aries, the Venus in Aries. Well, right now, Venus is in Libra. So Venus is coming. It's on its way to oppose Sherfy Jr. On its way to oppose him. This is evidence line for Sherfy Jr. And the Jupiter is going this way. Let me show you where the Jupiter is actually going. Guess where? Right where his dad was all the time at the Sexton property. That's where his Jupiter is going. So Venus is going to come and hang out on his Jupiter while it's opposing his Venus. This is about the law enforcement. This is about things that we learned. This is about the courts. This is about judges, politics. You see this missing event? The Zeus is here. If Shauna is still in the chat, she can verify. I've showed her. When Zeus will take you out. People think Pluto. People look at, no, Zeus. I mean, the Greeks looked to Zeus as if he was the main god. Zeus is here in the 11th house of Libra. This is about politics. police. And this man, Sherfy Sr., is in good with the police, the politics. And Sherfy Jr. is locked up because he is a pedophile, convicted pedophile. There's the FBI. This is where the FBI rises with justice. So there is definitely a reason why, like I told him, that Sherfy has been one of my main contenders. Not one time did I ever hear of any of them talk about the Hill property. Not one YouTuber said anything about Van Hill Road. But the FBI is there. And this is something, because it's their anti-vertex and Sagittarius, this is court worthy. So they would have had to have taken something of evidence to test. And if we look at Summer's map and we look at all these addresses, I've got cemeteries, I've got different people, their addresses, associates. I've got all kinds of people on here. I got Hammonds, I got Ricky Crawford. I mean, you name it. I've got them on here. This is not my first rodeo. This is not my first case to map. And I don't do this for my health. I can promise you that. I do it because I care about kids and I care about getting better, because our kids need something different. I left real estate. I left my life way back in Nashville, Tennessee. I work my ass off, and I want other people on my team, in my corner, to be helping me be productive instead of taking away from the productivity and acting like juveniles. Tired of it. These kids deserve so much more. They deserve so much more. So here is, this is where I want to take us now. I want to take us from Summer Wells, and I want to go to Jack and Lily for a moment, because I want to talk about, again, the map with Jack and Lily. I want to talk about Jack and Lily's map. I want to talk about the canine. And like I said, Jules, feel free. Feel free, if you've got anything to say it. If you want a link, just let me know. But yeah, I mean, this is your expertise. Okay. And I don't want to, act like I know everything about the canines, because I don't. Hey, Tennessee Twister, good to see you. Thank you for being here. I was actually looking at your channel the other day. I sure was, because I was looking at all the productivity that you had been putting into Summer Wells' case. And I appreciate that. I appreciate, seeing your videos. It is such a great tool. It's a great tool to use. Hey, Seth. How's it going, Seth? I try. Thank you, Jill. Thank you, Jill, for your support. Hey, Deanna. Good to see you, babe. Good to see you guys. So I want to take you guys to Jack and Lily, because I'm going to bring this back. I'm going to bring this all back around. Okay. Just bear with me. Of course. Yes. Yeah. I like to see your content and the way that you have, been an advocate for Summer. We need more people like you. Need more people like you. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to show you guys now this video from Hidden in the Fog. Hidden in the Fog had Belinda, the kids, Jack and Lily, their grandmother, up on panel. There's the link right here. Okay. So there's the link right here, guys. All right. If you want to watch the whole video in its entirety. But this is where Belinda, she is up on panel and she's talking about St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church. And she is talking about cadaver dogs. Okay. A private cadaver dog alerted at a church search site.
I was given the
It wasn't an RCMP handler. This was a private one, Jules.
coordinates. I contacted MCU and I told them, has this site been turned into them? They stated they know about the church. I said, well, you do know that apparently a dog had hit on it, and they stated they can't give out any information. So I said, well, if you guys aren't going to do anything, I'm going to go out and I'm going to dig it up.
Good for you, Belinda.
You.
Good for you.
And,
Yeah, good.
and
Good for
they told me to go right ahead.
Well, Janie,
my God.
Janie's got a shovel. Maybe
So-
she'd help you.
So,
Get the
We did
song
go
in my
out.
head now.
there was 3 of us that went out to the site. The dog handler showed exactly what the spot was. I will say, when we walked to it, it actually had the shape of a grave. It was
Oh my
just
Lord
off
Jesus.
when you're facing the front of the church. It was just off to the right inside the wood line. You could tell it was there for a while because it was sunk in, and you could see where it was partially dug up because there was an embankment on both sides. It was full of dead leaves and a lot of debris, so you knew it's been there for a bit, at least a full season.
Wow.
We did dig up further until we hit the hard sediment down about, I don't know how many feet, but we hit hard sediment, never found nothing. But the dog handler did take a sample of the soil. He actually took a couple of samples of the soil. He took that sample back home. He waited a few days, and he has quite a large property. So he took some of that sample and he hid it inside of a cinder block and hid it out in his field. And he took his dog out to search. His dog hit on the cinder block. He video recorded that, and he actually has that posted out there.
Oh my God. No, I didn't see
Um,
that.
Still, nothing has been heard from MCU, but the dog handler does stand by his dog on it did make a hit, and he does believe something was there. We just don't know what. And when I say something, I don't mean animal bodies.
No, I know. Oh,
But that was that Presbyterian church. But we entered that church by coming through Lyric Road, and it took us up to a crossroads, and I just can't remember the name of the road that branches right across, and you have to cross
Yeah.
that road. On the other side of that road is where the church is.
All right, you got to stop paying.
Okay, so here is the map. Okay, let me go ahead and put that on the full screen so you guys can see it even better. And we're gonna look at this church. Okay, we're gonna look at this church together. Let's see. There it is. Okay, so this is the church right here. Let me get it on the ground, my little man on the ground. I'm going to show you guys. So this is Lyric Road. There's a house right there, house right here. And there's the church that they're talking about. There it is, right? That is where they were just showing. It's 1374 Montreal Road. Okay. And so when I turn on the missing lines, Nova Scotia, this is what we see. We see Jack. We see Lily. I'm sorry, there's Malaya. So we see Jack. We see Malaya. We see Lily. We see the missing event. We see Canada. I would like myself to see it right there. I'd like to see the lines going right over that church. But let's just say that this could be a hot spot. When I have talked about this case, I've constantly said that Malaya is about to go through a Saturn return. She will be going through a Saturn return within the next 10 months. She is already feeling it. And a Saturn return is not good. This is where there would be on this line or on this angle. This angle is going this direction. The Scorpio is going this way. Okay. This Scorpio angle is going that way. This angle would mean that there could be a containment. I'm looking for a containment, which means the kids would be contained in something. They wouldn't be able to move. They're not going to move. They're going to be right there. They're not ever going to be moved. It's a containment. Saturn is representing a business. It could be a church. It could be authority. But it says what's hidden on this angle that pains her about the investigation. She is going through a Saturn return. It's only going to get more intense. Woods, muddy water, train tracks, anything that brings in money on this angle, business related to Nova Scotia. We see that Daniel is right beside her over here. This is where Daniel's Pluto and Scorpio is fated with Eris and Aries. So again, we're looking at an angle that's involving a Scorpio, which is about death, rebirth, regeneration, other people's money, hidden sex, a containment. They're not just going to be found in the open. They're going to be contained in something. So what's hidden with warring is found on this angle, all things intense, investigative, and could represent containment, pawns, trash. There is the missing moon in Cancer that is squaring Mercury. So this is where Mercury is wanting to tell us what happened. Okay. Mercury in Aries is wanting to tell us what happened during the missing event with the siblings, with the media. This is media. Okay. But there is a challenge here with the home, with a home, with the mom, with land, with property, with taxes. Wasn't someone in this family going through some tax issues? Wasn't something about taxes with Daniel's parents? Property taxes, something about taxes? That could be Scorpio too. That could be Scorpio too. Just so you know. And the moon is making me feel like that's what it is because we are going back to the property. We're going back to the land, things of the past. Then we've got Canada. There's a relationship here with Canada. It's conjunct Zeus. So there is a magnetism here. There's a magnetism with relationships, with a lot of warring. And like I said, Malaya Saturn is very close by. Her Saturn could be, could be about her dad, could be about her stepdad, could be about Daniel's dad, Daniel's parents being an authority over her, could be about Canada. Nova Scotia's right there. There's a justice here with Lily. There's a lot of pain going this way. Lots and lots of pain. With abuse. And then we've got Jack and Lily side by side over here. Things of the past that are dark, that is fated with money, with contracts. And Lily, there is a lot of emotion when it comes to school. There's a shakeup with values in school. She couldn't go to school. She wanted to go to school, but she couldn't go to school. Something about school is going here. So when I go back and I look at this, I'm like, there's a cemetery right here. Was this ever a cemetery? Is that why the dog hit here? Now, if I take you to another cemetery, hold on. Let's look at Justin Smith's mom. Oh, here's another cemetery. There's Justin Smith's mom, where Justin Smith would have lived, could have lived, definitely where his mom lives, right here off of Gerlach Road. There's a lot of pain here. That's where I was showing you the Saturn. All of those that I just talked about is right here with Justin Smith's mom. We go over here. Now, this cemetery, New Larry Pioneer, Lansdowne Cemetery. Malaya's Mars, conjunct Astraea and Pisces. It's about endings. It's about drugs, water, car, body, movement, fire. There is a lot of energy here that we don't see clearly because it's in Pisces and we just can't see it clearly. This cemetery, though, because the missing South Node and North Node is right here. So where they've been before and where they're going. This is where they're going during the missing event right here. This is the North Node. There's a fate here where we've been and where we're going. We're going into Pisces right here. You can't see it. There's a lot of energy. And this is where Canada's every day, their work, it's fated with Neptune and Libra, the things that they need to uncover. So I don't know what all is right through here, but it does make me wonder. Now, I don't have Jack and Lily up until I get through down here. But this is where Lily shines with a lot of pain, with a lot of abuse. And this right here, y'all, is the missing Venus that is conjunct Neptune. There could be evidence found here. So if I looked at a cemetery, this is kind of where I would want to be. Okay, Jack and Lily is over here. There's all, they're right here. Jack's Neptune in Pisces is there's something that we need to learn. And what we would learn here with Jack is that he's contained. Lily's Neptune is right here. Again, we got two Neptunes in Pisces. Guys, the chart ruler for Lily and Jack is Neptune. Why? Because Neptune rules Pisces, so it's the chart ruler. This is their chart ruler right here on the map. We just place it at a 90-degree angle and we see the behavior. Neptune and Pisces. So I would prefer if we're going to look at a cemetery or something like that, here, but I would say that a dog, a canine would hit on, especially a cadaver dog is going to hit on a grave. Doesn't necessarily have to be Lily and Jack. I don't think that it's Lily and Jack. It could be, but I just don't see it. I don't see it. Let me show you let me show you some of the places that I do have on the map. Y'all remember Wong? Wong? This is where there's a teaching There's a teaching going on. What she learns here alters her health over Wong's property. That's if I have the correct address for Wong. Jack is here. There's a flame of life here. The flame of life that is going to always be over at Wong's house. We got Malia. Malia's Venus in Capricorn is fated with Selena and Leo. What she learns too about her kids. Could be some evidence found in woods. Could be something of evidence found in his work truck. Could be some type of evidence that is found at Wong's house or in the property next door. So that's Wong's. If we look at where the blanket was found somewhere around here. We can see that Jack's south node, where he's been before. The missing event, this is where the divine justice is going. But if we take this divine justice going this way, it goes to where Jack and Lily, there's the boot prints right here, the alleged boot prints. But if we kept on going, this is where the fire was and where Jack got out of the fence and traveled to the cars. So that would make sense why this is such a pertinent line for Jack and Lily. Okay. Pertinent line for Jack and Lily, because that's where Jack got out of the fence years prior. I think he was 2. Earl. Oh, Earl. Lily and Jack, their lines are there. Lily's moon and the Cupid in Capricorn. The Cupid in Capricorn is Earl in her chart. The authority could be Woods. Jack, again, that Vesta in Virgo that goes over Wong's house. Also, that angle is coming up here to Earl's property. Right here. The sun was shining in Taurus. It was going northeast, but the Cupid, just like her Cupid, the transiting Cupid was conjunct her Cupid, wasn't it? I've told you guys that when I'm looking for a perpetrator, there's times that the Cupid line will bring in a body. So I always map Cupid. So this Cupid is conjunct hers. And it's right over his property, right by his property. And this is the everyday. This is the health of the everyday. Daniel is right here. His Venus conjunct Mars in Virgo is trining the dark moon. So things that he reflects on, that he gets mad about, especially with his dad, especially with authority, goes this way. And then we have Canada. This is where they have their lowest point. Their lowest point at home or at a home, especially in woods, would be right here. And then we've got Lily and Jack right here. There's a shakeup. There's a shakeup. There's a slowdown here. Massive stellium is hanging out right here with Jack. I just need boots on the ground. Just boots on the ground. Somebody that is willing to follow the map, me put them on the map and see where it takes us. I get questions all the time. Have you looked at Jack and Lily's case again? Have you looked at Jack and Lily? I can look at it all day long. I can create hotspots, but I need somebody boots on the ground. I mean, that's with all of these maps. Just need boots on the ground. People, looking. I'm not a one man show here. So I would love to find those kids. I don't understand the mother's behavior. I don't know how she's not their number one advocate, but we've said this from day one about Katie Proudfoot. We don't know why she's not the number one advocate. We don't understand the behavior. I don't understand Malaya's behavior. She knows where those kids are at. She knows where they're at. That's my opinion. I definitely think that she knows where they're at, deceased or alive. I don't think that she would have left that house, took the baby, and went about her life and never, maybe, I would love to make excuses for her, but there's just no excuse for me. I'm sorry, but there's not. No mother, no father, no stepmother, no stepdad should just be silent when they have a missing child. My opinion. You don't have to think like I do, but that's my opinion. Something is not right here. It ain't right. It's just sad. These 2 little kids, no advocacy from the mom. Just quiet. Weird. Weird. So I'm going to take us to Sebastian now because today is August 7th, and I've got phase 3 that begins on August 6th, August 18th, August 31st. We got September 4th. We got December 11th. So, and of course, there's many, transits in between. But I wanted to show you guys this because I think that it's important to talk about. Important to talk about today. This was yesterday on August 6th at 5 a.m. Hygeia and Jupiter in Leo will meet his point of fortune. As the sun rises, we see the energy of cleansing and expansion. Cleansing
What
and,
if you could
and
print?
expansion. Cleansing and expansion. There is a cleansing and expansion with Sebastian Rogers yesterday. So what had happened is Jupiter and Hygeia are hanging out together. And Jupiter expands anything it touches. So this is about kids' health. This is about health being blown up. This is literally a fiery energy, okay? So what I'm seeing with Sebastian yesterday is that Jupiter and Hygeia came over this 8-10 degree that he has in his chart, and it's his part of fortune. It looks like a circle with a black X in the astrology. Well, this expansion with Jupiter has to do with the law, judges, attorneys, schools, teachers, education, and there's a mark. There's an expansion. And we don't know what's going on behind the scenes with the attorneys, with the judges, with the law enforcement. Are they getting a fire under them and really investigating Sebastian's case? Are they looking at it again, trying to understand now that Seth has brought this lawsuit? Is it about CPS? There is something that took place yesterday with Sebastian. All the while, we have a darkness that is coming back to him, a dark moon return, and it's not an easy transit. It comes every 9 years. This will be his second one. His stepsister is going through her first one. And we know that Sebastian Rogers, we know that his stepdad was trying to get full custody, take his daughter away from her family, from her siblings, from her mom, because Mr. Selfish wants what he wants when he wants it. And that's my opinion. I'm not pulling no punches today. Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you, sweetheart. So, Sebastian, yesterday, this takes place. Hygeia and Jupiter leave. Okay. That's at 5 o'clock in the morning. Jupiter is progressing. And all the while, Jupiter and Hygeia is opposing Michael Proudfoot, his Saturn in Aquarius. His Saturn in Aquarius about we the people. Saturn is about his dad. It's about his work. And what does Michael Proudfoot do for a living? Or did do for a living? Drives trucks. Drives trucks. So let's look at Sebastian's map. Mr. Michael Proudfoot drives trucks. Proudfoot. We're going to have to look at that on the map, aren't we? Yes, we are. Going to have to look at it. Okay, Sebastian. Okay. Let's look at Michael. Let's see. Okay, the addresses are on. I want to say he works for CEI. No. Let me see. Let's go on to, hold on, let me find it. Because I want to pull up the right address because I know I don't want to dox anybody. CEI. So CEI. Trucking. Images. I think that looks like the truck. We got Missouri. We got Illinois. So let's look at this one in Illinois. Shoot. Shit. Let me see if I've got this one on the map. Because I don't want to start pulling stuff up. Okay. That's Illinois. LRS construction site headquarters, Villa Park. So this is, okay. Got FBI and TBI on. Okay, no. Tyson, CE Trucking. There it is. Okay. So I've got one, Florida Boulevard. That's in Louisiana. And this one's in Georgia. Okay, so this one in Georgia, this is where I wanted to be. And let me tell you why. It's because Katie is going to be having her lunar node return. Okay, so her south node in Leo is right here. Okay, south node in Leo is right here. And again, this is in Georgia. I don't know where the headquarters actually is with the CEI. Okay. I'm looking for Sebastian. And in order to find Sebastian, I'm going with the transits and I'm trying to see where we're at in the finding of Sebastian. Okay. So if I look at where she's been before, here is the trucking. There's the TBI. They also have a fate here. So as the lunar nodes come down in degree and they transfer from the axis of Pisces and Virgo and go to the Leo and Aquarius, this is where we're going. Okay. We're going to Katie. Her lunar node is here. TBI's lunar node is here. Sebastian's is here. Actually, his is, let's see. Oh, let me take the searchers off. Hold on. Because I think it's going over. Yeah. Richard Govan, that's an associate of Katie's. We got Brenda and Richard Govan, and we've got the FBI is right here. So I really want to look at the FBI. This is where the FBI has their lowest point. There's a lot of darkness. But remember the Villa Rica? Well, that's with the FBI too. So because the FBI is on Sebastian's case, I like to just look at the FBI. Because they are, if it's an out of state thing, the FBI is going to be the ones. Or let's say that Sebastian shows up and there's some type of embassy thing, it's going to be Homeland and FBI. So Sebastian is going to have right there. Hold on, it's going to be right. Hold on, let me see if I've got it off. I don't. Where's the new DA? Oh, damn. Trines the sun in Pisces. Let me just look for a second, guys. Hold on. So the FBI, the DA, and the South Node in Leo. This is Athens. Hold on, let me look at this one real quick. Because that's the DA and the FBI all right there. TBI is over here. Oh, shoot, man. Hold on. Hold on, I'm about to switch this. Hold on. Anything near Alatuna? Let me show you. Here's Alatuna right here. Yeah, that's the South Node. That's her South Node. So the reason why I'm showing you guys this is because her South Node, her North Node, the TBI's South Node, North Node, Sebastian's South Node, North Node, it will all be coming right after one another. Okay. And what we're going to see first is Jupiter and Hygeia expand over that area first. Okay. So, but Jupiter and Hygeia have to get into an upper degree. Right now, Jupiter and Hygeia are at an 8 degree. So it's going to have to expand. But the reason why I'm talking about Michael Proudfoot is because there is a major opposition that took place with him yesterday. And this opposition that took place with him yesterday, we didn't see nothing, right? We didn't see anything about it. But we don't have to. We see it here. We know that there's something that took place. And it could be about online networking, online school, something having to do with his work, something having to do with the authority. You know? Well, I know she ended up going into the service. I don't know how old she was then, but I would say that she ended up living with her she ended up living in Virginia. Somebody was talking about him this week, huh? If you find it, send it to me. Because that could be that opposition, that we didn't see, but that we could see. Um, so I think that this is very interesting, especially when we look at, Sebastian's map and we go back and we think, okay, so if we know that these returns are coming, this nodal return, we know that Sebastian is having let me turn this off. I've got so many different this is where the dark moon is coming, okay? Start from right here. We know that there is a dark moon return. And that dark moon return for Sebastian is going this way. Let me turn on the addresses again. And it's going this way. And we can see that the dark moon is conjunct his Pluto in Capricorn. And Katie gets a shakeup with the flame of life and work, authority, we the people. And the FBI is right here. There is a relationship here with the FBI. And there's also things that are court worthy for the DA. I mean, where's the DA again? I don't see him on there. So I've turned on the addresses. There's a relationship that's on Happy Hollow. I don't think that has anything to do with anything, but wait till you see this. Now we're going into Millersville. Okay, now we're going into Millersville. There's this city commissioner. Remember the commissioner that got messed up from the flow up? Because he was touching little kids. Right there. There's the commissioner. Yep. There's the commissioner. That happened, right? Nasty commissioner got busted well after Sebastian went missing. I mean, he just got busted not too long ago. So what I'm showing you is that the map is picking up past, present, and future. I don't know how it does it. I mean, it just does. There's an SO. There is an SO right there. Benton. An offender that is right there on that dark moon, Pluto, Capricorn line. An offender. Because, yeah, you know what? When I map the missing, I also put offenders on there. That's one of the first things that I do is I put offenders when I start to map, especially kids, even teenagers. Because a lot of times they're going to assume that a teenager ran away. They're not going to assume that they got lured or they're not going to assume that they got kidnapped or something happened inside the house. They're just going to, they ran away. Totally losing time. resources, investigative measures that should be taken immediately. They don't. They don't because, they just don't. So, yeah, there's an offender Benton right there. There's Pete Hex's home. I even got Pete. Why would I put Pete on here? Why would I put Pete on there? Because his mom and stepdad, their family, Chris's family, a lot of Chris's family are in the military or they are ex-military, even Bowersox. Some of their family is ex-military or in the military too. So that is the reason why I've got Pete on there, because it's just a clue. It's not saying Pete's got him. No, I'm just looking at it as a clue of the military, because Jupiter can also be about military. That's why I put Pete on the map. Chapmansboro. Carrie Foster. Well, Carrie Foster, she is the one that, if you did not know, you're going to know now. Carrie Foster, I've got several of her addresses on here. She was the first one to create a Facebook group. And she ended up being not a good person. She ended up having a record. Her image was totally tainted. And so, yes, I put her on the map because I didn't know what her intentions were in the very beginning. Still don't. But we're going to go past the Cumberland River. And we're just going to stay right here. There's an RV park, Sailor's Rest. RV park right there. We're going to cross over Kentucky Lake. There's the Kentucky Lake right here. We're going to keep on going. There's a campground, Reelfoot Lake State Park Air Park, North Campground. That's in Tiptonville, Tennessee. That's where the FBI is, right up there. FBI is down here. There's still Missouri. So this is all throughout Missouri, right through here. This is Masters Ranch. There's an academy here. This is Masters Ranch. It's where the FBI has been here before. Ozark Trails Academy. Return of the Land is situated here. So this is going to be, school related, some type of, campground, whatever. There's Ozark, Missouri. Certified Express. This is a trucking company in Missouri where Tony Mathis used to live. And as you can see, the FBI has their communications. Anthony Clubine. Holiday Inn Springfield. I don't know what I did. The Return of the Land. Broken Arrow. This is in Oklahoma right here. This is where Katie is being shaken up with the flame of life and is court worthy. And this dark moon return that is coming for Sebastian is going all the way to California. So if we think about the dark moon for Sebastian and this being his second one, it's definitely about the long travels. It's about the courts. the documents, all of that. There's New Mexico. There's an old address for Penny in New Mexico right here. An old address for Penny. John Poy, a friend of CP's. There's Nina right here with the FBI. So you can bet your ass that the FBI has talked to Nina. If there is any type of anything that it would ever go down, Nina could definitely be some type of witness. But this is definitely going to New Mexico with Nina. Things of the past. Here's Edwards Air Force Base. There's Dale Rogers Excavations. Dale Rogers Excavations. Kids live safe here in Santa Barbara, California. Naval Air Station right here. San Bernardino, American Film Institute. This is where Katie, I believe, used to live, maybe. Let's see. In Rialto, California. But see, it's going all the way here to California. Las Vegas, there's Nellis Air Force Base. This is going to be his second dark moon return. The first one took place at 9, 8.5. And it's going to take place again 17.5, 17. So when is that exactly? That's August 31st. That's when the moon, the dark moon, is going to return to natal. And it will already be showing before the 31st of August. So I would say by the 28th, 29th, the 30th, we're going to see a dark moon. And it, for someone his age, it's just not easy to deal with. It wouldn't be easy for him to deal with. How about that? Yeah, it's all pieces of the puzzle. Like Orb Attraction is saying, it's just all pieces of the puzzle. But yeah, mapping offenders. He was one of the first offenders that I put on the map. Because you would never know. He had a business in Hendersonville. You would just never know. He's got like an $850,000 home. You would just not ever suspect anybody like him to be an offender, but he is. Got a wife that just looks as sweet as anything, sweet as pie. When you look at their Facebook, if I were to show you all a picture of him, you'd never guess that he is on the registry, but he is. So you just never know. I think that Katie and Chris know where Sebastian's at. I don't think that there was an offender, but I don't know. I don't know for certain. And if I don't look at all angles and I just base it on her weird ass behavior or their hand video, it's just weird, you know. But yeah, I did. I sure did. I remember that. I sure did. And I was like, girl, this place is this is a hot spot, really. They need to be in with, you know, dogs and luminol and everything need to be there. That's another thing with Sebastian's case, with some of these cases, they don't even do luminol. I mean, things that they should be doing to try to solve cases. It's like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Like, why not use the resources that you have in the very beginning and go hard for these kids? Makes absolutely no sense. None. Absolutely no sense. Even years later, if you didn't do it then, go back years later and see what you can find. There could have been a splatter left on the wall. They are failing them, Jeff, left and right. Left and right, man. So I want to now take you to Layla Santanello. You know, I want to let you guys know that I was on her map like sink on shit, just like I am with all these other kids, with all these other missing people, Okay. And I happened to work with her mother, Layla, Jennifer Santanello, and I worked with and still work with her bonus mom, Brittany. I've got tons of texts. I'm talking about tons of texts, tons of videos, tons of information that's on Layla's map. And a lot of the information that I have received, like, let me give you an example. So Layla goes missing and they have her reported last seen at the marble slab. Nope. I rejected that. Nope. Nope. Mm-mm. Makes no sense. The math ain't mathing. I fought tooth and nail about the marble slab. And y'all can go back and watch my early videos on TikTok about it. Tooth and nail about it. Nope, 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 nope. Makes no sense. She wasn't seen at the marble slab. She wouldn't have been at the marble slab. There's no way. Why? Why would you say that, Jennifer? Because nobody that is that messed up on substances is going to be hanging out at a marble slab, sipping on some water, hanging out, talking to a coworker there, eating on ice cream. It ain't happening. Okay, there's common sense that is telling you that no, the discernment that Shauna was talking about in her last short video. Mm-mm. No way. Math ain't mathing. Finally, they come out and they say, finally, they come out and they say, oh, she was last seen at the mayor court. Oh, but she was running in the woods. She was asking for cigarettes. Oh, but then, somebody took her to the West Side Inn. Let me tell you something. Layla Santanello and her boyfriend Michael, they did what all the addicts there in Kingsport do. Okay. It looks like you go to Kingsport, Tennessee, and you tell me that you don't see the same thing that I see every time I go there. Zombies. A ran down city filled with addicts at the hotels, living there, carrying around carrying hatchets, all kinds of stuff. It is the most unsafe city that I have. I mean, I would even I would compare it to Memphis. Only you're gonna see a lot of white people in Kingsport. I would definitely compare. I don't know about you, Jeff, but I do. It's bad. It's really bad. So we got all of these people that are hanging out at hotels. But but here's where the story needs to start being told correctly. And if anybody's going to do it, I will. Okay? I'm going to. But first, before I start telling you about all that, I want to show you something. Okay? I want to show you something. Because Jennifer last night was on a live with Ryan Finds Truth. And no, I'm not sub to Ryan. I was going to actually work with Ryan. But Ryan deemed my work silly. Me and Jen had stopped talking. He started cozying up with her. He was ready to work with me and Brittany, helping find Layla using the map. But then he started getting cozy with Jen. He ain't let go. And my work is silly. Okay, I've got text from him. He blew us off. That's when me and Jeff went to Kingsport. We were going to have, we were going to have, it's, believe me, it's not that he thinks that astrology is silly. He thinks that my work is silly. He's all about psychics and mediums. I have his texts. He's all about them. He just didn't want to work with me and Brittany after he told us that he would. After we all went there, he declined. He's working with Jen. That's it. It's really not about Layla. This is a team thing. Okay. This is a team thing. It's teams. All my lines are silly. Okay. What I'm doing is silly. And so he and Jen get on a Jen gets on a panel with him. I don't know if you guys follow the Layla Santanello story, but you know what? Jennifer's mother's going through all kinds of stuff. Kids have accused her of abuse for 20 years. She's been fired. Jennifer's, trying to use all of her following to come down on the education system. I don't care. That's not my fight. I could give a shit about what is going on in her personal life. I just want to find Layla. I do care about Jennifer's heart. I care about her as a person. I just didn't agree with the way that the investigation was. I didn't agree with the things that was happening early on, and I was getting the ick. And y'all know when I get the ick, I don't, there's a lot of discrepancies that I've caught that I know about. And that's where I have a huge problem. And I'm not going to air it all out here because it's really has nothing to do with Layla. Okay. But what does have to do with Layla is the narrative. The narrative. And I don't know about Sloan Bella. I do know her birthday. I do know her birth time. So, of course, I pulled it up because she likes to talk about astrology too. Although a lot of things I definitely don't agree with Sloan Bella. She thinks that the earth is a prison planet. She's got a lot of things wrong. I see through it. But the cult isn't going to, and that's okay. It is what it is. She ain't going to find Layla. I know that. And with that being said, the narrative about the marble slab, that was a no-go. Finally, it comes out, it was a no-go. Glad everybody got on board because I didn't map her from the marble slab. I mapped her from the AmeriCorps because that's where she was last seen. That's where she was actually visually eyes on her. We talked to the woman that saw Layla. We spoke to her in person. We know the time. But here's the thing that I need you guys to really understand, and that's that Layla and Michael had stolen some money. Jennifer calls it 800. Another 2 or 3 people will call it $1,600. She's stolen some money. She was in big time trouble. But guess where she was when she allegedly had this money? She was at this girl's house. She was at this girl's house. Jennifer Tenner. Ever heard of her before? Of all of these years, and you following Layla Santanello's case, have you ever heard of this chick? No. Why? Why? You want to know something that's just baffles me? Let's look at this. Watch this. Jennifer Tenner is in jail. This is public record. She is in the West Tennessee State Pen. Guess when she's got a parole hearing? 8/14. 7 days, a week from today, she's going to have a parole hearing. She's up for parole. Her sentence began July 7th, 2023. Well, that's right after Layla went missing. So right after Layla went missing, they go to Chick's house. They arrest her because her house was the house that Layla allegedly left from. Everybody said she was on Highland. She was on Highland. Last time I saw her, she was on Highland. She got her shoes got stolen from Highland. Her condition this got stolen from and the money got stolen from Highland. You mean to tell me that Layla Santanello had money stolen from her, didn't fight the person that stole it, and she just went to the AmeriCorps? What? What? You mean to tell me that Layla Santanello would have had money stolen and didn't fight tooth and nail to get that money back? 800, 1600. They just took her shoes. And then she shows up at the AmeriCorps and she doesn't even look like she's been in an altercation. She's just gonna leave. Okay, bye. Y'all can take my stuff. Bye, guys. Y'all. Let me show you this, girls. Oh, but Trisha said this and Trisha said that. Trisha, you mean February, before Layla goes missing, Michael gets busted. Layla's boyfriend, Michael, gets busted leaving Trisha's house, leaving the trailer park, where Barbara Santanello had 2 trailers for Trisha and Layla. Same place. I'm going to show y'all this on the map. I need to show you guys this on the map, the 2 trailers. So, Michael gets busted in February, March, April, May, June. 4 months goes by, almost 5. Right after Michael gets busted, they raid Trisha's house, get her for all kinds of stuff. These people are big time hustlers, addicts. They have felonies and they've got firearms. I mean, it's just a cluster. So February, that happens. Then they go, so do you think Trisha's going to be happy with Michael and Layla? You think she's going to be happy? Because Layla was stealing all kinds of stuff from Trisha too. Trisha is the person that rented the other trailer from Steve Linkus, the man that everybody says was last seen with Holland Snap, who is also missing. I just can't make this stuff up. It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. So let me pull up Layla's map because I need to show you guys this. Hold on just a second. Let me pull up Layla's map. Actually, before we get to talking about this, let's just go ahead and listen to some of what they said last night. Let me just go ahead and do this first. Here we go. This is from Ryan Finds Truth. And I do have his birth chart as well. I might as well just start mapping him into this. Maybe one day he'll actually wake up and want to work the map and stop with all this silly line stuff. But you never know. You never know. So this is last night. But let's just go ahead and get to this part where she first comes on. Because y'all need to see this. Hold on.
Creek area, and this is
Shopping for a car? Scan the VIN with VIN Verified. Need detailed vehicle
where the greenbelt runs.
Yes.
Yeah, where she
Well,
comes on.
Also,
Damn.
finding all the right home pros can be
My
overwhelming.
goodness.
Thumbtack has everything your home.
it's just gonna.
Hold on. Let me
It's
get
been a
her where
wild
she
day.
first comes on.
But yeah, I'm hanging in there. I'm here.
Santanello on here. I'm going to introduce you all. So we've got Jennifer Santanello on the screen now. This is
Yeah, I'm
Layla
Kevin.
Santanello's mother.
I'm
How
stuck
are
with
you
the
tonight,
thing.
Jen?
I forgot to water my plants, and so I'm trying to do that real quick. And a lot of them were very, very wilty. I'm okay. It's been a very, very difficult, rough day, but that has nothing to has a little to do with the case, but not everything to do with it. And yeah, it's been a wild day. But yeah, I'm hanging in there. I'm here, and that's what matters, right?
That's good. I don't know how far you are from me, but I just got pounded with a heavy rainstorm just a few minutes ago. That may help you in watering your plants out there.
Well, I just started to feel a little bit of drops, so I'm like, yay! But that doesn't always mean anything. Like the mountains here, like a lot of times, it's so strange. Like it could be raining, I don't know, like 2 blocks over, like piss
That is true.
pouring, and it's not here. So it's just frustrating sometimes.
Gene, I would imagine you get the
To
same type of
Jennifer's
weather
defense-
down in Texas. Is that right?
Oh no, it's right now it's hotter than 10 acres of burning stumps. It's
To
Hey,
Jennifer's
Gene.
defense, by the way, Jennifer's got a lot going on. When we were texting tonight, and Jen, she's got her kid coming. I think she's the only one watching her kid.
I found.
In Jennifer's defense, I don't like a niche where, we've got the cleavage. I mean, this, if I wanted to imitate Jen, I would be, talking like this, and, I would be talking like this, and she has a niche. There is a niche, but I can't, whatever she's got to do to bring attention to her daughter, and I would be a basket case, I would be drinking too. I don't know what she's on, what she's doing, but she is clearly, and this is a problem. This was a problem for Layla. Layla was in and out of homes, in and out of state's custody. She was not doing well at all in her life. And she just didn't have a very good support system. And she looked everywhere for a support system, and just never found it, But to give Jen that credit, I would be a basket case. Okay. Jennifer didn't have anything to do with her daughter's disappearance. Was she a perfect mom? None of us are. Could she have went about the investigation and everything from the very first start differently? I wish she had. But there are things that she has said about her niece, Trisha, who she has said is actually like her sister. They kind of grew up like siblings, not a niece. They were more close in age. But if she truly believed that Trisha had nothing to do with her daughter's disappearance, she would have never, in the very beginning, told me that she did. She specifically said to look at her niece, Trisha, and gave me her birth time. So now that she is backtracking, I have a problem with that, because in the very beginning, she didn't know. So if it's true that her video that she posted a year ago or so, or whenever it was, when she's doing her hair and she's like, Trisha, the reason why I let Trisha live in the basement and I didn't let Layla is because, Trisha is a paraplegic and she was going to follow the rules, and I let her live in the basement. And that's how I know she didn't have anything at all to do with Layla's disappearance, because she was in the basement. That's not the story she told me. She wanted me to look at her specifically in the very beginning, and I did, and I haven't let off of her, because these people have a common denominator, and that is that those substances get, and it takes them over. It takes them over. Trisha and Steve Linkus, like that. Bradley Arnold, like that. And Holland Snap disappeared from that address. I don't think Trisha is so innocent. Okay? It is so sad. It is so sad. In that town, there needs to be an overhaul of that town. It is so bad. Guys, the next time that I go back, I'm going to video everything and show y'all everything that I've been talking about for the past 3 years, because it is very sad. But this is where I want to show you guys where they start talking about the map, because we're going to look at my map. Okay, this is just a map with no lines that's not telling them any type of behavior. But my map does. Okay, it's going to tell. Okay, so here we are. And let me make sure you guys can see it. Yep, you can. Okay, cool, cool, cool. It is horribly run down. It's very dark. Yes. Yes. Thank you, Julia. This is Kingsport, Tennessee, Lindsay. Kingsport, Tennessee, darling. Okay, so they're going to start talking about this map, and I'm going to stop, and then I'm going to show you the map. Okay, I just want you guys to see what they're talking about here. Okay, so this is Layla Santanello, who went missing out of Kingsport, Tennessee. She went missing. Holland Snap went missing. Let's see. She went missing in June, and Holland went missing in October. So Holland went missing after that. And I think that Holland, she went missing in June. Oh, shoot, hold on. I think that Holland might have known something. But Steve Linkus, everybody knows that Steve Linkus and Trisha would have been witnesses, or they did have something to do with it, allegedly, and everybody is innocent until proven guilty in the, court of law. I'm not here to convict anybody. I'm just here to try to find out where Layla could be. That's always the main goal.
Yep, that's where Layla slept. And then you see there's a field.
Just to the north. Or
yeah, go up.
Yeah.
Yeah, go up. That's the field. Keep going up. And that's the warehouse. Now today, the warehouse is gated off. It didn't look like that before. It wasn't gated off. It was like gravel, like all that stuff. So she gets up, she walks over there, she approaches the men, asks him a cigarette. Nobody smokes, and she wanders off even further past that building. So if you keep going up,
okay.
All the way to the trail.
Yeah, the trail's about. See those woods back there? There's a trail back there called the Greenbelt. That is where she went to. And then for the longest time, it was believed that that is the last place she was ever seen. Okay? So everyone up until
for just a moment here, and then I'll let you continue.
Go ahead.
Gene, the Greenbelt, if you look and you see right here kind of where the wood line is alongside the neighborhoods, you can kind of see this is a little creek area, and this is where the Greenbelt runs.
Yes.
Well,
follow.
Sorry.
Right. So let me show you on the map what they're talking about. So on the map, here is the AmeriCorps. they are looking at it from another perspective. Okay. They're looking at it from another perspective. Here's the AmeriCorps. And here is the warehouse that they're talking about. And here's the Kingsport green belt. Jeff and I walked the green belt with Brittany the last time that we went. Okay. So if I were to put it right here, if I were to show you, this is where, Jeff, you'll remember if you can see it. I'm going to show you. So here's my little man. And I'm looking at the green belt right here. Okay. I'm looking at the green belt. I'm right here and I'm looking at the green belt right here. Right there. And if I go and I look this way, I'm looking at the warehouse over here. Right here is Independence. This is Independence Way. I'm right on Layla's line right now. I'm right now on her line. Okay. Let me turn it around. Now I'm going this way. I'm going to go this way. I'm going to walk around. And as I walk around, I'm coming down Independence Way right here. So this is where the Venus and Neptune opposition is pertinent, very strong force with pleasure, relationships, health. Here's the thing though, because Venus is conjunct Juno, there is a relationship here. And if she says, oh, she went here and she asked for a cigarette, that could explain the Venus is the cigarette. Conjunct Juno, that's the relationship that she asked a cigarette from. And it's in Virgo. It's about the health axis. Okay. Where they said that she would have stayed the night, where she would have slept right outside the AmeriCorps. Why would she have to sleep out here? Why would she have to sleep out there? She knew people at the AmeriCorps. She wouldn't have had to sleep out here, but this is a part of the investigation, you see, because Palace and Leo, this is where there is a lot of attention with the investigation, guys. Okay. Lots of attention is here. The MC and the IC in Virgo and Pisces is also here. Now, the other day, I told you guys that the lunar nodes of fate are coming to her MC and IC axis, this Virgo and Pisces axis. Okay. All right. It's coming right here. This axis right here. This one right here. Let me take off the missing. It's this one right here. It was in transit with the vertex and Saturn when she went missing. This means that there is something not seen right here. There is something that we are not taking note of. So, Jeff, if you remember, when we pulled into the AmeriCorps and we talked to that woman, there is the courtyard. Hold on. Let me see if I can show it. The woman told us, okay, so through this doorway right here, this breezeway right here, you go through this breezeway and there's a courtyard. Okay, go through this breezeway, there's the courtyard. This is where we sat and talked to this woman who said that her room is where Layla came in for a little bit to talk to her. Okay. So we go here through the breezeway. This is where we parked right up here. And shoot, I can't. Can I keep going? Keep going. Keep going. Come on. Come on. Keep going. And then there is a trash can. There's a dumpster right here. So I want to show you where I'm looking. I'm looking at the dumpster right here. The dumpster is going this direction. It's right around here. That would be the dumpster right there. Right around here. So what happened is the cops, they pulled up right here. There's the Jupiter. The cops pulled up. They actually surrounded the place the day that Layla started freaking out and went into the woman's house because she was thinking that they were there for her. Why did she think that they were there for her? Because she had a bunch of money, right? She had a bunch of money. She had just stolen some stuff. Where did the money go? Well, some people said it was 800, some people said it was 1,600, but I can guarantee you that if she was at Jennifer Tenner's house, you know, this chickie poo, if she was at her house, she didn't leave without a fight if somebody took her money, her shoes and her stuff. Nobody that would have known Layla Santanello, and I definitely don't know Layla, but I know of her. And what I know of her, no one at this house could have taken anything from Layla without a fight. It would have been over her dead body. Absolutely over her dead body. So they go on and they talk about this and that and the other, and they talk about the king's the green belt. We walked the green belt. We searched all in the woods. We searched culverts. Some of them we pulled out tons of debris to search the culverts. Didn't find anything in the culverts. And but what I do want to show you is I want to show you where Jennifer Tenner. Let me go back down again and turn on the addresses because this is pertinent. So I have a red dot over some pertinent addresses like the West Side Inn and Jennifer Tenner's. Now, if I go down and I look, there is a natal line. And guess what it is? It's the lunar nodes of fate. There is a fate here, a south node in Sagittarius. She's been here before and it's court worthy. Court worthy. Sagittarius. Sagittarius can be a quick movement of the blood, like an OD. Let me turn on some other people's and see if we can. Oh, there's her boyfriend. His Pluto is here. Well, Layla's Pluto is also here in Sagittarius and it's fated with Australia and Taurus. There's a justice here with money. See, the narrative would state that Layla left here and went to the AmeriCourt. And then from the AmeriCourt went to the West Side Inn. That's the narrative that they're trying to, spill now. But guys, no. So we have the Pluto in Layla's sixth house of health, her everyday. And it's fated with Australia in Taurus. In Taurus. Michael and Layla stole the money from this guy. This guy, Philip, there was a breakup with Philip. And it could have to do with about a shakeup with the law enforcement. As soon as Layla goes missing, he goes to rehab. That's what the breakup is. He goes to rehab. He allegedly was the one that drove her. But there's all kinds of stories. There's all kinds of stories. And everybody has a different story as to what really happened. But I guarantee you one thing, Layla lost her life. If she's deceased, she lost her life because of that money that she had. And they all wanted their greasy fingers all over it. They wanted what she had. And I don't believe for 1 second that Layla Santanello wouldn't have fought tooth and nail to keep and hold on to that money. Somebody, anybody that took money from Layla, that stole her shoes, you think all of that's going to happen and she's just going to go to the AmeriCorps and the West Side Inn and be like, oh, it's okay, guys. No big deal. You do think that she's not going to text Michael and go, hey, they are taking advantage of me. Where are you at? I thought you were going to be here to pick me up. People literally said that they saw Layla there with their own eyes. You have an area if I want to see it for Summer or for Layla. And sure, I'll look at it. Yeah, Layla's not going to go. She's going to fight. She's not just going to let people take her money. She was the behavior that she was expressing at the AmeriCorps was one of, she was mathed all the way out. She was super, super duper paranoid. When they say that she would have left and she stayed the night in the woods, Jeff and I can tell you, Brittany, we can tell you that we've been in those woods, and that's where homeless people are. That's where addicts hang out. They don't sleep. They don't sleep. Okay. Everybody's that's seen Layla at Jennifer Tenner's house, there was a bunch of people there. It was at night. So it was either the night before all of that happened, and then she goes, the AmeriCorps broke. Or she leaves the AmeriCorps, goes to West Side Inn, and then goes to Jennifer Tenner's. But I don't know that anybody has any video of Layla at West Side Inn. But let me show you on the map. Excuse me. Okay, yeah. Tell me the areas real quick. I'll look at them on the map. So let me show you where Jennifer's mom. Let me drink some water here. Hold on. Oh. Jennifer's mom Barb bought the girls' trailer at a trailer park. Let's see. Yeah, Kiara. I mean, Kiara didn't even like Layla. I've even heard that Kiara took her to the West Side Inn. Kiara didn't even like her. If Kiara had her in her vehicle, she would have taken that money. She had just had a car wreck. She would have taken that money, done something. Her and her boyfriend, who is locked up, they would have done something with Layla. I mean, I'm not buying that she's the one that took her. There's no way that she would have taken her to West Side Inn, just dropped her off. She couldn't stand her. Kiara could not stand her. This is where the trailer is. Right here. This is where a lot of stuff went down with Trisha and Layla and Michael with the money in February. There was a raid on Trisha's property at this trailer park. So we can see that this is where leads come in, past leads, and every day. This is where the Jupiter is in a good standing with information for the police. Again, the police raided her home. So you know Trisha was not happy at all that her home got raided and she lost the trailer and, went through all kinds of hell, having to live in Jennifer's basement. And then months later, March, April, May, June, 4 months later, her cousin goes missing. And then months later, she is seen at the same property where Holland goes missing. I mean, make it make sense. There's Michael's Cupid is squaring Vesta in Virgo. It's about the flame of life. It's about courts. It's about a court. State of Tennessee is right here. Of course they are. The state of Tennessee is right here because they rise in Sagittarius. They rise here to the occasion with the court system, with Trisha. Layla stole a pew-pew from Trisha. Layla stole. She didn't deserve to be, unalived and all of that. I'm just saying, I mean, there was a reason. There was a reason. There was motives. You know what I'm saying? There's a motive here. Where is... There's the TBI. Steve Linkus. Look at that. Steve Linkus is going right over that trailer. Right over it. He's the one that's going right over that trailer. Neptune and Sagittarius. Opposing the Saturn and Gemini. What's the Saturn and Gemini? It's 2. Who's the 2? Layla and Holland. What he doesn't show to the court. What is not shown with the courts. This also goes to Georgia, where he's from. This line. Interesting, huh? Oh, Steve Linkus. Let me take Steve off of here. Okay. Let's go back up. And then the West Side Inn is right here. The only one that I see here, well, let's see if, hold on. Let's see if Jennifer is here. Yeah, Jennifer is showing up here at the Super 8. This is where Jennifer's been before, is at the Super 8. Jennifer has been here at the Super 8. We went to the Super 8, actually. We sat right there in that parking lot wanting to talk to a guy named Michael West. Just didn't get to talk to him. Tennessee, their Mars. There's a breakup here. There's a breakup here by the Super 8 motel. Brittany gets a shaken up. She gets shaken up about what she is told here. And there's the Chiron. This is where Michael and Layla have pain. And it's about this business. I don't know that Layla ever made it to the West Side Inn. I don't know that she ever made it out of Jennifer Tenner's house myself. There's no way that anybody, whoever stole that money from Layla, it would have been over her dead body. I don't think that Layla would have, she would have fought with a bunch of stuff being taken from her. That's my opinion. And I'm going to stick to it until I'm told anything different that would actually make sense. So both Sullivan Garden Parkway. Let me look. Sullivan Garden Parkway. I see. So there's an address that I have for Dustin Hicks right here. It looks like Sullivan Gardens Parkway. Okay, so that turns into it. Okay, I know where you're talking. I know where we're at here. And Sullivan's Garden Parkway goes here. There's Glen Ownby. There's Glen again. Let's see. No, that's not. So Glen Ownby, who got busted off of Clover Bottom Drive, this is where there is a lot of intensity, especially with other people's money, hidden sex, things that are hidden with the investigation. And Dustin Hicks. Matches Layla. So that's Sullivan Gardens Parkway. It's a long parkway, so I'm not real sure exactly where you're thinking. I'll look at the same with Summer's map. Okay, Summer would be 4445. Okay. Well, it looks like I got some addresses here. Andy Bernard, George and Polly. Stardust Road West. You go ahead and turn on Dawn and Candace. The natal Tennessee TBI. So George and Polly, Andy Bernard. This is where it looks like the Vertex, the FBI has an intense experience here with two people, like George and Polly. So are George and Polly buried here or something? The missing Sedna in Taurus. There's a shakeup. So this is, hold on, let me turn. See, this would be more of the area that I want to go to. That is right across the street from where Don Sherfy Sr. lives. This is where there was a breakup with values, a letting go with these values, and there is a lot of pain that's around here. And that pain that's around here, maybe where Marvin may have lived, where the conference was that was held for summer at the Lone Star. But right here at Light Cemetery, I've never been here. There's Richard Crawford as well. I've never been here to the Light Cemetery. Chad Arnold, very suspect. Let me just show you what I'm talking about here, because I've never been to this area. There's a breakup with Chad Arnold here with Don Sherfy Jr. There's a breakup with them having to do with Summer. There's a lot of pain with the TBI with Candace This is where all of Candace's pain is going. It's going this way. And if I were to find Summer based off of Candace's pain, this is the area, this is the direction that I'm going to go. Okay. This is the direction I'm going to go. Let me show you. So we're going to go over Morrison Cemetery, but it would be right through here, right through here. This is where the investigative authority with the FBI falls, with relationships, with a lot of boring. So if the FBI, I would be going here. But this is where Miss, where is it at? Right here. This is where the Chiron is for Candace. So I'm going this way. I'm actually going over this way, Morrison Cemetery. And I'm going to keep on going and I'm going to keep on following. There's 4151 Beach Creek Road, 4155. We got Vicky Dykes, 4159. This is all Dykes. If I remember correctly, the Dykes live, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. The Jupiter, this is just, I mean, this area is so profound. And we just keep on going. And this is going to Light Cemetery. I've never been to Light Cemetery. I don't know if they've got cameras. Never been to Chad Arnold's, this place off of Bob Dykes Road, Moorlock Road, Crawford Road. But yeah, this right here, the FBI, their outer will leads that they would receive. It's very intense for the FBI here. It's very intense for Dawn. It's going back to the moon. The moon can always represent, no matter what sign the moon is in, it can always represent a cemetery. There's a lot of pain that Candace has here. And this is where Dawn's Jupiter is going. So there is a law presence and its expansion. Jupiter expands. Jupiter can dig. Jupiter will dig and dig and dig. Dawn's Venus is, there is a quincunx here. So it's very intense with Dawn when it comes to his values, anything that could be found here. And man, oh man, does Candace have a lot of pain with what she learns here. Because it's in Taurus, she wouldn't even necessarily have to be buried, because this is a Taurus line. And this is where the TBI, oh my gosh, TBI share a lot of pain here. On Light Cemetery Road. So I'd be interested to know if Light Cemetery has any cameras, what this area looks like exactly. This is where the state of Tennessee receives leads on this road. The TBI rises right here. There's just so much energy that's going here. It's just not even funny. I literally cried on live one day showing this, because it just feels like there's so much pain here. But if we go to, and you know, if I looked at, let's just hypothetically say Quantico. Let's go up to Quantico, Virginia, because this is where the FBI, if they did collect any information, this is where they're going to collect it. Or this is not where they're going to collect it, but this is where they're going to test it. The vertex, okay. If we go back, shit, don't want me to go that way. When we look at Van Hill Road, Here's the church. Let's just let me go ahead and show you this while I've got Summer's map pulled up. But this is the Rogersville Seventh-day Adventist Church. And this is where her natal first house Cupid in Sagittarius is. Well, the Cupid in Sagittarius, it is her Cupid. Let me show you this. Let me show you this, guys. Hold on. Watch this. Let me remove this. Hold on. Stop screen. Let me show you this entire screen. Wait till you see this. So, the entire screen, that one right there. What I want to show you guys is, so on the map, her Cupid in Sagittarius is going right over that church. These desires with pastoral pastors. Watch this. Watch this. Hold on. Let me take me off. Let me show you Summer's chart. That Cupid is a 2632. Okay? It's a 2632. It's right here. 2632. All right? Now, the dark moon is currently at a 2546. I'm going to stop it. I'm going to get it to that 2632. Okay? 2632. Here it is. It will begin to go dark. It's going to go dark right there. And if Summer were alive, okay, if Summer were alive, this 2632 is going to, it would bring a lot of disordered aggression with her about religion, about the pastor, about church. That's exactly what it would be doing. Now, one thing that I do want to see, or I want you guys to take note of, is the 1710. Okay, 1710. Make sure that I've saved this. I'm going to bring the FBI up because we just talked about Quantico. We talked about what they would have gathered at the residence, the hog farm. And we're going to go back to the FBI and the 14th of August, the same day that Jennifer Tenner is up for parole. The 14th of August. So, the FBI, the 1710 that they have in their chart is right here. So, the FBI line that goes to Quantico is a Gemini. 1710, the Hygeia, and the 1710 with Chronos and Cancer. This is about the devouring energy of a home, of a property. So it could be that the FBI comes back. Could be that we don't hear anything about it. But this, guys, is also a day that I'm watching for Don Sherfy Jr. as well. The exact time. Why? Because that Venus is going to oppose his Venus. And that Venus is marching its way to a 1425. And Saturn is going to be opposing him. Guys, there is always a reason why I be talking about Sherfy Jr. Because I don't know that Paul had anything to do with it, but I do know that Summer went to church with Sharfie Sr. and his girl so much that his girl would play with her hair as she's laying on her lap. And the Marigold sex and property is right below Summer's house, where the FBI and Sharfie and the TBI and all of them are. But where is Summer? So if I'm looking for Summer, okay, I can try to figure out the narrative or whatever, but if I'm trying to find her body, I want to go where Candace is sharing pain. I want to go where she's sharing pain and where there is a Jupiter expansion of the law. Jupiter is also about churches, pastors. It's fiery. So I want to show you something else. I want you to see this 2457. Okay. This 2457. Let me bring up Scott, the new sheriff in town. We've already talked about this before on a past live, but this deserves to be talked about several times for people to actually get it, that this is what I'm watching. Okay, let's look at Scott. This is the new sheriff in town. He's the one that's taking over. He's the one that is also going through a Chiron return. This is very difficult for him, coming in and trying to clean house. What I notice about Scott's chart, okay, is that there is going to be this magnetism with evidence on the 14th. The 2457 is where he is going to be, his Hades is going to be activated. It's about money. It's about pleasure. It's about evidence. It's about evidence because Venus is evidence. It's about possessions. It's about something that we own, something that we have in our possession. And you can see that he has a dark moon at that same degree, the 1426, 1425, 1423. There's going to be a disordered aggression about the authority, about what they found. There's going to be a magnetism with the law. Maybe he's going to clean house that day. But look, this 747 with Venus, it's in an opposition. So Sharfie Jr. is having a major opposition with Saturn and Venus. Let me show you. I mean, I could just keep on going on and on and on and on and on, making contact here, but Sharfie Jr. It's like, is there some type of, were they selling her? Like, what is happening here? What is going on here? Did they just take her to this property? Did they have anything to do with it? Did Sharfie Jr. have anything to do with it? I don't know. But I do wonder because his Venus, I've got it at a 746. And damn it, Venus here is not a 747. But she's in Libra right now. His is in Aries. So it's opposing. The evidence is opposition. It's opposing. Saturn is in Aries. Well, his Jupiter is in Libra. Where's his Jupiter going? Remember where his Jupiter is going? To the Marigold Sexton property. That's where it's going. That's exactly where it's going on the map. Where his daddy hung out. Maybe where he hung out, right? Well, the other thing that I want you to take note of is this. Sharfie Jr. has a 1652. It's where he brings enlightenment, or where there is enlightenment with the doctor, with the physician who brings enlightenment about the justice that is expansive here, right here with Jupiter. The 1652 is also found in, you guessed it, Scott Stewart's chart. The 1652 that he has, though, that's magnetism, the health and the magnetism, being magnetized to Sharfie. So if he had any type of inkling, whatever is going on this day, whatever is happening right around noon, we're going to watch it because that's what we do on this channel. We watch, we observe. And, this is a big day for Layla too. Okay. This is a big day for Layla too, because gal is going up for parole. And Jennifer Tenner is going up for parole on this very day that the values and the Cupid is going dark for summer. We're going back into the past. Going back into the past. Right here. There's that Cupid. It's going to be a lot of darkness here. There's Charles Ward. Let's go back. Let's keep on going back. That's the only church that I'm finding. There's Reese Light. There's Simpson Loop. Reese Light and Simpson Loop right here. This is the Van Hill Road, and I'm just not. This is an Arnold. I've got Sharpie Jr. and the FBI here. I think it's Hansel Arnold or something like that. There's a cabin on Van Hill, Compton residence. There's a Compton residence. I don't know who these people are. I don't remember. It's been so long. But there's the convenience center. I'm still thinking that this Cupid goes to look at that. Lawson. Sheriff Ronnie Lawson's office is right there. That's also where the Cupid is. That conjunction with Cupid and the anti-vertex, the 29-degree. So we've got the church and Mr. Ronnie Lawson's office. Interesting. I wonder when Scott Stewart is supposed to take over. What day? What day? What day, date is Scott Stewart supposed to take over as sheriff in Hawkins County? Or, yeah, it's Hawkins County. September 1st. September 1st, and we are looking at August 14th. So he hasn't quite taken it over yet. He hasn't taken it over. All right, so let's look at Lawson. Ronnie Lawson. Let's see. Hmm. Do you think that Ronnie Lawson could be trying to solve it before he gets out of office? Maybe. Maybe. One last little, let's see if he's got a 1237. All of that is getting closer and closer to him, so that's possible. But it could be that the FBI comes back and says certain things to him. Let me see. Huh. Hmm. I don't see anything. I don't see anything that's like way jumping out. Uh, unless I got his moon kind of right. So the moon, the Selena will go over his moon, and the moon will cross over his moon that day. So yeah, it definitely could be about Miss Summer and any kind of evidence that they could have collected. That's possible, definitely. Definitely. What else do I see here? This 351 is the 350 would be Tennessee, the state of Tennessee. So it's possible. Sorry, guys, I'm not looking at chat. Yeah, it would be awesome. It would be so awesome. Would be great. So the moon is even going to cross over. It's going to come over the Pluto. It's going to come over and shake him up with groups. And I would think that that's probably going to be the FBI. Let's look at the FBI's chart one more time with this. 14th, 11. Yep. This is about the vehicle. It will be about the vehicle, be about the child, all the action that's going to be taken. We may not hear about it though. We may not hear about it on August 14th. Yeah, I think it's going to be with the FBI for sure because there's a devouring energy with the 1710 and that 747. There's a relationship here that they're going to be communicating with. Looks like they have a dark moon at a 2530. I mean, the dark moon is going to be coming to them at a 2532. 2532. That's already happened. Okay. What else? What else? What else? What else? 958. 16. Let me think about this for a second. The Mars is actually coming to Sharfie's Mars too. Sharfie Jr., this would be about a property. This would be about land, a vehicle, and land or a body. I mean, that is definitely the Mars is on its way to Sharfie Jr.'s Mars too. So it's about to get real for dude. I wonder when he goes up for parole or when he's supposed to go up for parole. 16, hold on. 1606, 16. Let me look. Oh, shit. Where is 1607? Look at that. Oh my goodness. Look at that. There is going to be a lot of emotions with Don Sharfie Jr. on the 13th. On the 13th. So this is going to begin for him a lot of emotions on the 13th. No, on the 15th. Hold on the 15th. There's going to be a wait. Okay. That's right. That's right. Let me see when that turns. Something is definitely going to be going down with Summer Wells. Okay. I'm going to look on the TDoc site and see if I can find out when he is up for parole. But this will begin with Sharfie Jr. by Friday evening. By Friday evening, 9 o'clock, it could be something that he sees on the news. May have nothing to do with him, but it could. Okay, so it came over him. Okay, it never did. Okay. So that's gonna be interesting that it's gonna hit him that evening. There's gonna be an opposition with him, and then there's going to be a lot taking place with him the evening of the 14th. So I think it's gonna have something to do with summer. I absolutely do think it's gonna have something to do with summer, maybe the evidence. Let me look at the TDOC site. Let's see. Well, it doesn't even look like he's got a parole. He's not gonna be up for parole. His sentence end date is 9/22. So a year. He's got another year. So he's not up for parole. Sentence began 8/15/2022. The offense date, though, I want you guys to see that the offense date was in May. So Summer goes missing, right? She goes missing in February 2021. Was it June? I can't remember. Hold on. I get Layla and her mixed up. Hold on. She was born in February, I think. She also went missing in June. Yeah, she went missing in June. Okay, so that's right. She was born in February. So May 20th, 2021, there's an offense that takes place. But he's not arrested for another 3 months. So he was out of jail on a roll. He gets arrested and taken into custody in August of 2022, so a year later is when his sentence began. So a year later, it takes a year after the offense in May. Then the next month, Summer goes missing and he's still out. Oh, thank you, Narita, for being here, honey. Thank you. So the 14th. The 14th. Yeah, I can't read it right now. If I look back, on this area, because it could have something to do with the evidence that was collected on Van Hill Road. This is where there's a shakeup with Candace and groups. A shakeup with Candace and groups. This is where Don Wells shines. And he is just, it's all about him. And this is where the state of Tennessee rises. This is where there's a grounding, like a ground wire for an intensity off of Tunnel Road with the FBI. And then the TBI is over here. The missing event is over here on the other side of the road. It's where Tennessee receives leads. This is actually the natal There's information that is coming here. The FBI's outer wheel, there's value here with Sharfie Jr. and the way that Sharfie Jr. is transformed, especially when it comes to hidden sex. No, he would never turn his son in. No, absolutely not. Actually, not only if you're talking about Sharfie Sr., no, no. He'd defend him. He'd defend him. He's defended him, you know. I don't trust any of these guys. Not even Sharfie Sr. But if we look back on the map, that opposition that's coming on the 14th with Sharfie Jr., there's that Jupiter. It's a 14-degree, 1420 something. It's in Libra. Well, Saturn is coming to oppose him here. And as you can see, the TBI, the FBI, this is a better place. This is better. Okay, these lines are so much better. Going this way. Right there. Sharfie's south and north node. So Sharfie Jr.'s north node is going this way. This is where he's faded from Summer's house. This is the basement. This is the swing. Here's the basement door. Sharfie's Chiron in Leo that is conjunct the trans Pluto. He is transformed in the public eye with a lot of pain when it comes to this case. He meets the FBI's dark moon here. Disordered aggression with children and how money is brought in. Woods. This is the reason why I'm just really wondering. I really do wonder about Sharfie Jr. I found 2 birthdays for Paul Hill. I've got his sons, but I don't have him. If anybody does come across it, please email it to me, but I need a month, a date, and a year. Swing. Fate was Sharfie. Communications with the FBI. And as you can see, the FBI is also here. They shine here with the things that they learn with their public image. This is an FBI type of case. You can see that the missing event is also here, where the basement is. The missing moon was conjunct the MC in Leo. The moon was in Leo. It's all about reflection of kids, reflection of maybe CPS coming. It could even be that too. We're reflecting on children and their health. The missing Hygeia in Leo. Just like Hygeia is in Leo now. Just like Hygeia is in Leo now. Hygeia was in Leo when she went missing. And it was opposing Saturn. And it was square to the groups in Taurus for money, values, the land. But guys, this is where all the action is taking place with Sharfie Jr. come the 14th. That's in 7 days. That's when the dark moon is going to be over Summer Wells, Cupid, and Sagittarius. And that's going to express itself. It is definitely going to express itself. I don't know who lives here. Who has all this right here? Whose property this is? If this was Dobbs or, if this was, I don't know. But I do know that Marigold Sex and Property is right here, which is exactly where Sharfie Jr. and his dad's girlfriend was here at this property. And if he was being a nasty ass in May, well, I guess he was in June too. He just wouldn't have stopped. The only way that you can stop a child predator, and even like Ernie said last night, there's tons of them. I'm talking about convicted ones. I'm talking about convicted offenders. Sharfie Jr. is a convicted offender. And the fruit may not fall far. He does have a brother too. The fruit may not fall far. I don't know. I'm not convicting anybody. I'm just a YouTuber creator that's showing you a map that I've created for Summer Wells, for Sebastian Rogers, and for these children. Because they do deserve a voice and they deserve something different. A different type of investigation. And this channel, this is where the big boys and girls are. This isn't where I want to have a bunch of that crap that I saw last night going on. That was crazy. Crazy. Our kids deserve better. Absolutely deserve better. I'm about to start a map for Alyssa Turney, the girl that went missing. I'm going to, start a map for her. I want to be looking at Cherry's map, trying to help Canine Jules find little Cherry. That's one of the darkest maps I think I've ever created. It's the darkest, spookiest. What we really need to all understand is that these people, these type of predators, they won't ever give up the body. They won't give it up. They want to hold on to that body to their dying breath. Because to these predators, these little girls, these little boys, it's almost like they own them. It's their possession. And they will die without giving up the body. Like Cherry's, that dude, that nasty ass Montgomery dude, he will never give it up. Maybe Jules can make it happen. He could maybe he would do a false confession or something. Who knows? But I just don't. These people are, they're big time predators. And some of them just won't ever give it up. They won't ever give up the body. There's a lot of false confessions of people that will say that they did something they didn't have anything to do with it. Why does that happen? Because they're crazy. They're crazy. Sharfie Jr. he's just been on my radar because he is a known predator. And he had access. His dad was right there. He could have been right there. I'm sure he's got an alibi. I'm sure his brother's got an alibi. But this opposition that's coming with him is the 14th, and it's the same exact day that the dark moon comes back and will sit on Summer Wells at least for 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours on the 14th. And that's actually going to take place. That's Nashville time, but on the 14th, that's going to take place right before noon. Right before noon. And the other thing that I want to make sure that you guys know is this, is that on the 8th, that is tomorrow. Tomorrow. This is where Layla Santanello has a low point at home with her mother. And the North Node is going to sit there. And this right here, guys, this is tomorrow. And again, Layla's map is showing where the energy is going. And I mean, I don't know how more I could actually show you about this energy to make it make sense for anybody, even if you don't know anything about what I'm doing. You never seen it happen before. Okay. I'm going to show one more time. Hold on. Let me get Layla's. Let me pull her up one more time. Try to find her. Seeing Layla. There she is. Layla tomorrow. So this right here, the South Node is going to come and sit here where she's been before. Then the North Node is going to go where she's going, where she went to. Okay. Go back to her map. It's the same exact place that Jennifer was talking to Ryan about last night. The green belt. Right here. Hold on. Right here. There it is. It's going to the green belt right here. It's going through those woods and going through the green belt. That's the Virgo. That's the lowest point at home. And then the IC is going this way. It's going all the way up here. Let me turn on my addresses so you can get a real understanding of what I'm talking about. Here is the landfill. The North Node is sitting here tomorrow. Tomorrow, there is a fate with Layla Santanello right here. There is a fate going over the Greenbelt with the South Node and the North Node going over Rainbow Drive and Idle Hour Road. Can you hear me? Hope so, guys. Hope you can. There's Glenn. There's Dustin Hicks. One more time. There's Dustin Hicks. There's Trisha. We're going here. Rich Drive, Skeleton Bluff. Now we are going into Virginia. There's Yuma Road. Michael West used to live on Yuma Road, or still does. There's Maple Street. There's Click Street, and we can just keep on going. There's Gate City, Virginia. I know that the Hammonds live up through there. You know, here's the thing. There's Austin, where Austin went to college. Where Austin went to college. I can't make it up. Y'all, I just can't. That's exactly where she was talking about last night. Look at that. Natal MC. There's something here. Durant Avenue. This is Wisconsin. I think there was a sighting up here in Wisconsin. Or that could be where Rose Bly went missing from. I can't remember which one that is. Let's go down. Let's go a little further with the south node because we only stopped. I mean, we just stopped there with the south node where the south node is going to be. Where is it at? Right there. So we're going to go over the green belt. We are going over Height Street. Heather Lane. Mount View Avenue, Skyland Drive. Going over Cooks Valley. This is the south node. This is where this is all going to be in transit tomorrow. All this. Here's Cooks Valley Drive, where I'm looking at right here. Here's the south node. Keep on going. So I want to see what all is happening. Now we're going into Fall Creek. We're going Fall Creek Road, and we're going to the river. Here's the river for Layla. And again, this missing palace, it shook her up. There's a shakeup right here. Big O shakeup. Look at this. This is Kingsport still. It's a bunch of tractors and things of that nature. Little dead end right there. Fall Creek Road. This is actually the Devil's Backbone Trail. This is also a trail. We drove over this a bunch. We may have went even down in here. I don't remember. Yeah, Warrior State Park. Hemlock Road. Now we're going over 81, Yoakley, Shoals. Johnny Peters is there. Jennifer Michelle. South Node. We're going into Airport Road now. There is a dam. Boom Dam Road. And look at that. The Pisces Virgo axis is definitely about endings. Okay. It can be about endings. It can be about things of the past. It can be about, addiction, substances, things of that nature. There is a lot of attention here. This is a dam. And it does look, is this a hydraulic dam, y'all? Let me see if, there's a TBI. Jupiter in Virgo. There's an expansion with their Jupiter in Virgo here. Lead may not be followed here. That is pertinent to follow, but in time it's followed. Interesting. TBI is definitely here. Their north node is here. Okay, let's keep on going. That's a trip though, but yeah, I think it was hydroelectric. Yeah, check it out. That's a trip. That south node, man. Oh, we got Ryan Doob. We got Ryan and Jennifer. So Ryan and Jennifer, I don't know if they still live there, if they used to live there or whatnot. There's a couple of addresses I think that I have on here with Ryan Finds Truth, but again, the South Node isn't going over his property, but it's going right near it. Doolittle, this looks like maybe a subdivision. Subdivision being built. Wonder who built this subdivision. Wonder if it was Dishner Construction or who it was. It's a construction though. Construction site. Even if, I mean, you got a construction being built, I mean, dang. Putting a body in a pipe. Just never know, man. Just never know. Roadrunner Markets in Johnson City. So now we're getting into Johnson City. Johnson City. The mall at Johnson City. Don Ringo's past address. We're in Idlewild. Princeton Road. Johnson City. Ringo. Johnson City. Let me keep on going. Now we're getting into North Carolina. And this is interesting to say the least. Because that South Node, that South Node that is coming right here, look at that. Other address for Steve Linkus. Other address for Steve Linkus. Remember who Steve Linkus is, okay? Steve Linkus is the cousin, Trisha's landlord, who lived on Bell Ridge where Holland Snap went missing in October. Allegedly, Steve Linkus unalived her. So he's got an address in North Carolina and he's got an address in Georgia, as well as Kingsport, not just Bell Ridge. But yes, isn't that a trip? Is that not a trip that there is an address, an old address for Linkus right here on this line? There's Glenn again. Glenn just keeps showing up too. Of course, we're going down to the, the Bahamas and, but yeah, interesting, isn't it? Very, very interesting. Steve Linkus. Right here. Dale and Steve are brothers. So this is Payne Ridge. This is where the state of Tennessee is, but I don't know. It's really not calling on me. Let's see. Where is his past address? This is also related to Steve Linkus. This one right here. But then where is his other address? Hold on. It's right up here, I believe. It's right. Shoot, I don't want to keep showing people's. Oh, I think it's going to be right around here. Lowe's. Shit, it was right around here, I thought. There it is. There it is. There it is. There's one of his properties too. And one of his properties, look at that. It's right by, so one of the properties that you can find on public records is right here. Okay, so this one is right near Hunter Stadium, and it's right near this, oh, what you call it? Like a reservoir or something. I don't know. It's right by Big Elm, Granby Road. So this is where Brittany gets shaken up. There is a lot of pain here with Layla Santanello and her boyfriend Michael. Right here. Older man, place of business, authority, pain shared with partners, work. Michael holds same Chiron degree and the same sign. So this conjunction is covering this area right through here. It's where Dishner lived. Bojangles, Terry Dishner. But yeah. Unbelievable. There's Courtney Stapleton. And guys, if y'all see your name pop up, just know that it's nothing personal. I'm just looking for Layla. I'm just looking for Layla. I'm not trying to convict anybody. I'm just trying to find her. I'm trying to understand the energies that's coming. And these energies that are coming are already expressing themselves. We saw it last night. So it's already expressing itself. The lowest point with her mother at home. There is also Saturn is coming to Jen, and it's going to sit there on the 4th house. Things are just not looking good for Jen Santanello right now, or her daughter, in her daughter's case. There's a lot of things that are just not quite right. And, the law enforcement, if they couldn't get the marble slab right in the very beginning, and was believing, some girl that said that they thought that they saw Layla without doing their due diligence, and how many months and months and months and months went by before they actually really changed it to the AmeriCorps. I mean, it's just all shitty police work, in my opinion. And I would not ever be surprised if that police department isn't messed up, like, for real. But anyways, guys, I knew that it was going to be a long live. I didn't know how long it was going to be, but I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm on it. I've given you dates. We're going to watch it. And as far as the drama, it's sad that any grown adults are bringing drama to kids' cases and, not keeping it all about them. Yeah, the truth is definitely going to come out. Mhm. Thank you. Thank you, Jules. Okay, guys, I'm going to jump off here. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'm going to be jumping into Seth's live here in just a little bit. I'm looking forward to hearing him answer questions. So, yeah, guys, have a good one. Peace out.